shout out to everybody. How y'all doing out there? You know what I mean? One thing I do want to say, shout out to everybody, again, that's been supporting the channel. The lefties are losing it. It's been going like that for the past weeks. You know what I mean? I feel like the campaign has been struggling, the Democratic campaign, and I do want to talk about a couple things that's been going on. Shout out to everybody that's, like I said, has been tuning in, subscribing, all of that. It looks like Stephen A. Smith is one of a number of Kamala supporters that are now kind of low-key turning on her. And I think Stephen A. Smith ended up, wasn't he in support of Kamala Harris not too long ago? I think he ended up dropping a little blog on his channel, basically saying that he was supporting Kamala Harris. So this is very, very interesting now. The turn of events is going on. Let's listen to what Stephen A. Smith has to say. Shout out to him.
Will about Trump. He's supposed to be a criminal, right? He's supposed to be in jail, right? He's supposed to owe nearly $500 million, right? The bottom line is the Republicans said they want him. All of them. Nobody said that about Kamala.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's let him finish.
Harris until July 21st.
Interesting. Shout out to Devory Darkins. If y'all can subscribe to his channel, he's got a lot of good content too.
Stephen A. Smith is continuing to show us why Kamala Harris is really in trouble. Because when you have people like him, who truly is a race hustler and is a simp for the Democratic Party, even though he claims to be an independent, coming out and criticizing you and your performance during that disastrous train wreck of an interview with CNN's Dana Bash, and what he had to say is eye-opening to me. Watch.
You talked about dealing with criminals, fraudsters, and, con artists. And then you said, believe me when I say, ladies and gentlemen, I know Donald Trump's tight. Well, if you know it's tight and you're accustomed to dealing with him, why is he the one doing a bunch of interviews? Again, the strategy was fine. I'm not complaining about the strategy you employed up to this point. I'm saying be clear. That ain't going to win you the presidency. And for your first interview, and by the way, you know the code that he's using. Nod your head, Rashawn. Nod your head, Honor Free, especially you, Honor Free. Oh, especially you. All right. And you.
This dude, man, when he starts turning up, he is hilarious.
You too, Bailey. All of yous. All of yous. Nod your head. Is Trump, yes or no? Is Trump not using codes when he points out that she's hiding? He's leaning on gender. I'm a man. I'm strong. Look at the war in Russia and in Ukraine with Russia. Look at what's going on with Israel and Palestine, in the Gaza Strip and beyond. Look at the kind of troubles that we're experiencing, whether it's North Korea, it's China, or whatever. Iran, Iraq. I mean, come on, y'all. Look at all of this. You think she's strong enough? She can't even show up to do a hard interview. I show up all the time.
Wow. This is not like Stephen A. Smith. He was a huge Democratic supporter, and now he's turning. Wow.
This is what he's doing. We all know what that is.
Okay, so I know it might be a little painful for people out there to listen to Stephen A. Smith. I'm with you. But I only am using this as another example of why her campaign is in trouble. Now, obviously, most people are not going to believe that because they go based off what the fake news media is telling them. Right. And we already know they are just a propaganda machine for her campaign.
Right.
But
I mean, it's not only them. It's like, yeah, it's CNN, it's the Breakfast Club, it's MSNBC. All of them are propaganda tools for her.
Stephen A. Smith definitely points out something that anybody with some level of common sense would agree. How could you run for the most important position in the United States of America and you are scared to do interviews? Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how we should trust you to handle Vladimir Putin, but you're too scared to do interviews.
Exactly. Shout out to Marcus Chapman. He said, listen to me. Shout out to you. And then shout out to Kai. I can't pronounce your name. Is it Kai? Yo, Lotto's not going to be here until the 27th. I'm going to see Lotto on the 27th. She's not here until the 27th.
Make that make sense.
What? When you got me say it, my girl gonna watch this. Wait a minute. Chill out. The 27th.
Tell me that former President Trump is a threat to democracy, but you're too scared to do interviews.
Carlos Risotto said, probably we can't be burned by what has been said.
And show up when it really matters and confront him. I'm telling you guys, if she shows up to the debate with that type of energy, it's over.
But what do you guys think in the comment section? It's a lot of y'all. What do y'all think about Stephen A. Smith turning on Kamala Harris? I think that's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Because the election is coming down to these independents and swing voters. They're not going to let that fly. Now, don't get me wrong. Stephen A. Smith is still looking at this incorrectly. He actually doesn't think it really is that. He thinks Trump is trying to feed into this gender war. No, Donald Trump is just telling it like it is. You're supposed to be the commander in chief. You are currently the vice president of the United States, the second most powerful person. Why are you scared to do interviews?
Exactly. How are you going to be a president of the United States? Scared to do interviews with people that are asking difficult questions. Like, wow, that's a very good angle. Like, shout out to Devore. Very good angle.
As a prosecutor and as an attorney, as somebody who knows the law, as somebody who knows a criminal when she sees them, as somebody who knows a con artist when she sees them, and all of these other things that she said about.
I think what's going on with Stephen A. Smith now, like when he made that blog in support of Kamala Harris, he got a lot of negative feedback. And so now he's trying to maybe use this as an opportunity to smooth things over with the fans, because one thing a publicist will tell you is never to become like political, you know, because you're not a fan for you're not an entertainer for one, like the left or the right. You're an entertainer for everybody. So when you get political, you end up narrowing your fan base, and you make it more difficult for publicists and people like that, or agents, to book you, and a publicist to market you, because you become political and you've turned people off. You see what I'm saying? So I think he's starting to receive a negative feedback from what he did, and that's why he's coming out against Kamala Harris now.
Do interviews.
And as a prosecutor and as an attorney,
if y'all can't hit the like button, shout out to Sugar Black for saying that. Hit the like button. Mike Ferrandez in here. Shout out to you.
Somebody who knows the law, as somebody who knows a criminal when she sees them, as somebody who knows a con artist when she sees them, and all of these other things that she said about him. Why is this dude the one we see? Because the Democrats are telling her, well, you know what? Something ain't broke, don't fix it. We gain this momentum. We gain this momentum. We gain this momentum. They are right about that. And I'm not disagreeing with anybody on my team who feels otherwise. Here's my point. It doesn't matter.
I like how he said anybody on my team that feels otherwise, because like letting everything be known that not everybody shares the same political beliefs. So I think that's fire that he said that.
If the regular process had been followed.
What's up, Nova?
But because they avoided the primaries, because they were accused of greasing the skids to disguise and hide Joe Biden from the rest of us in terms of the decline that was clearly taking place. She is now the Democratic nominee without having had to have a debate, without having to experience a primary, without having to campaign. It was handed to her in the eyes of the opposition.
No, not just in the eyes of the opposition, in the eyes of everybody. No, but these people are not stupid, okay? The only people that truly matter right now at this point in this election will be the swing voters in these swing states. A lot of them are going to be independents.
Can somebody tell me, and this is like me being real, why is Stephen A. Smith so renowned? Is it that people really like value his opinion? Is he just being put in your faces? Like, why is he like, his word is law with so many people? I'm wondering, I know he's like very animated and things like that, and I can get like animated like in blogs, but I really don't. I feel like when he talks, a lot of times he's off.
About him. Why is this dude the one we see? Because the Democrats are telling her, well, you know what? Something ain't broke, don't fix it. We gain this momentum, we gain this momentum, we gain this momentum. They are right about that. And I'm not disagreeing with anybody on my team who feels otherwise. Here's my point. It doesn't.
Why are they politicizing like a sports commentator? Flower said he's a sports dude and got popular. Yeah, I know that. Ben Dover said, "Are you voting for Kamala?" I don't know. No, I'm not voting for Kamala. Zionist said, Stephen A. Smith has bowed to Israel. That's the answer you need, not want.
Matter if the regular process had been followed. But because they avoided the primaries, because they were accused of greasing the skids to disguise and hide Joe Biden from the rest of us in terms of the decline that was clearly taking place. She is now the Democratic nominee without having had to have a debate, without having to experience a primary, without having to campaign. It was handed to her in the eyes of the opposition.
No, not just in the eyes of the opposition, in the eyes of everybody. No, but these people are not stupid, okay? The only people that truly matter right now at this point in this election will be the swing voters in these swing states. A lot of them are going to be independents. They're undecided. They matter. And I guarantee that they know for a fact that one...
Hey, y'all, I heard that 60 Minutes finally addressed that, editing the interview. I'm trying to look for that now.
She covered up Joe Biden's mental decline. And number two, she didn't earn this nomination. They know that. They have some awareness. They're not that stupid. But for some reason, the Democratic Party think they are that stupid, which is why they're trying to pull this stunt. And when he says that he agrees with the strategy, in my opinion, I actually disagree with the strategy because we shouldn't be in this position to begin with, right?
Like they should have, within the last 4 years, done a lot of like, executive orders, policies, had, things put in place in favor of the American people. That way they can come to the table and say, hey, this is what Donald Trump did. This is what we did. This is what he had in place. This is what we removed, and I feel like this is better because of X, Y, and Z. But when they come into office and then they undo his border policies, and then now we get a flood of immigrants coming in here, it brings a lot of pause to the voters. Like, yo, what is really going on here? Like they're literally flooding in like everywhere. And then like we even like reacted to a video of the news is saying people from other countries now go to Mexico and come in here illegally because they know it's easier to come in through Mexico illegally. So it's like, what are they doing, man? Like, and then Border Patrol, like all of these different people supporting Donald Trump. It just shows that they have been ineffective. And I don't think they're going to try to do anything to fix the border crisis. Like, I think she is the border czar. I don't think she's going to do anything to stop that because she wants for them to be able to vote. And if they vote, they're going to vote. If they do away with voter ID, they're going to vote and they're going to vote Democrat. That's what's going to happen. They're not going to vote for Republican. It's going to make sure the borders are secure again. Like, that's not in their interest. And people that are here legally, shout out to them. But there are some people that are here legally trying to bring their illegal relatives over here. That happens, and they know, like, it's easy to come over here. So they figure out ways to bring them over here, too. Like, we're not going to act like that don't happen. But you got a lady that doesn't want to get strong with border protection. She could say, oh, yeah, we know we have a problem. Yeah, we have a problem because you created it. Like, that's a threat to, like, what's going on here. We don't know who these people are that's coming in. And we seen this guy fact check, the Trump disinformation, and like Trump was basically like, yo, like there are good people that are here, but they're not sending the good people here. They're sending people that are the criminals. They're sending people who may have issues wrong with them. And then that's kind of indicative of what's going on in Colorado, them taking over apartment complexes in New York. They're having a little problem in New York with it. So I mean, like this lady, she's just not to digress, but she is not presidential. I'm not gonna get on here and say she's slow, she's not smart. I'm just gonna say she's not presidential. And I don't think, and what Stephen A. Smith talking about, she's avoiding like hard interviews and things like that. She is. How is she gonna stand across from Vladimir Putin or if she got to talk to the person from Iran, or like how's she gonna stand across from them and be taken serious? And a lot of these guys, like, I don't want to make it a gender thing, they don't respect females at all, like at all. So just imagine, they already think we're weak, they think the men are turning into girls, they think what I'm saying, it's what they think. Like our education system is a joke. They don't think we're smart. And I mean, how smart are we really? We opening up the borders and let people infiltrate our government through voting without like putting safeguards in place. You know what I mean? Or trying to remove safeguards. So it's a lot of things going on, bro. So a woman going over there and trying to get real stern with a president from another country, like, no, like unless like I would think, I mean, I think Hillary is just as crazy as her, but I think Hillary would have been stronger of a president than she is. You know what I mean? Even though she's got her problems, and she believes in censorship, just like Kamala Harris. She believes in things that I do not believe. But I'm talking about in terms of going in like and talking to a president, I think she would have been stronger than her. I just don't think this woman is presidential at all.
If I'm the person on the Democratic side, why are we in this position to begin with? We can't just blame Joe Biden and say, well, it's because he dropped out of the race. No. We refuse to do a true open convention when he dropped out of the race. Because remember, the media is still on their side. So they could have got the media to spin it just nicely. They could have got the media to suppress the fact that Kamala Harris was overlooked. I could see that as a reality. Because they're clearly suppressing Joe Biden. I mean, where is he right now? He's on the beach for 16 straight days. So I don't buy that this was a great strategy. I think this was a strategy that they had to figure out at the last minute, and it's going to blow up in their face. It's not like they had 3 years to prepare for this.
That is what they're going to say about her. Say what you will about Trump. He's supposed to be a criminal, right? He's supposed to be in jail, right? He's supposed to owe nearly $500 million, right? The bottom line is he's been the Republican nominee since 2016. And he's been through a myriad of debates. And on top of all of that, he got all of this law, these legal issues descending down upon him. And the people have spoken. The Republicans said they want him. All of them. Nobody said that about Kamala Harris until July 21st.
Yeah, I agree with him on that.
So you don't get to just skate to the election and have a debate September 10th on ABC, and you know what? We may barely see you. Nah. Why also, ladies and gentlemen, Biden wasn't doing a bunch of interviews prior to the debate on June 27th, and then what happened thereafter with July and him stepping aside. So we have a White House that hasn't been active participants in communicating with the fourth estate, spanning months. Why are you running this country? Nah. I want you, Kamala Harris, to go out there and whip you know what of Donald Trump. That's what I want.
I know what you want, Stephen
Yo, why do they like
A. Smith.
if you're gonna have a commentator like on, I mean, I guess he got his own Stephen A. Smith. Like, so they're getting super political now, man.
But let me tell you something. You're not going to get it because that's not who she is. We continue to entertain this fantasy. Like Kamala Harris is this great candidate that is this great prosecutor, and she's going to take down Donald Trump. Like, can we stop playing games here? Okay.
Didn't she only like prosecute for a little while? Like we just seen like a video of Tucker Carlson, this lady saying that she didn't even really work that long.
Because if that's who she was, you wouldn't have to say the things that you're saying right now. Real recognize real. You are who you are. It doesn't matter where you go in this world. You are who you are. If that's who she was, we wouldn't be having these conversations. She would be doing every single interview after every single rally, doing CNN, doing MSNBC, going on podcasts. She'd be everywhere. She's not. She's got everybody else speaking for her. So that tells you everything you need to know. So I know
subscribe if y'all can, but I want y'all to see this.
So, they were kind of
really?
Yeah. So many years after coming to the United States, and during the year that she dated our former mayor and speaker, Willie Brown, is the year that she registered to vote. And so connecting the dots, it seems like that might be the time when she decided.
And I'm hearing like she went to school in Canada. Like, what do we know about Kamala Harris?
So you are you're younger than Kamala Harris, but in the same generation. You're an attorney. You're from San Francisco. You first ran into Kamala Harris in 2003, 21 years ago. You know everyone in her orbit. You live in the same world. And so...
Yeah, we got the same microphone fire.
So with less than a month to go before the campaign, I thought...
Nova with the 1999... Woo! Nova after my heart. Said, show Piperboy Williams some love with the like, sub, super chat, and cash app. Piperboy Williams Thug Life. I appreciate you, Nova, for that. Shout out to you.
Thought it'd be interesting to hear the perspective of someone who actually knows a lot about Kamala Harris's life. Don't seem to be many of those. So thank you for doing this. Who is Kamala Harris exactly?
Well, you see the words comma, chameleon, and, nicknames like that applied to her today.
Yes.
And she really has been kind of a shapeshifter throughout her entire career and existence. I would call her in some ways a survivor.
She says she's been a shapeshifter. Yo,
She's had a number of different environments, sort of growing up in Oakland to 2 university professors as a small kid. And then after divorce, her mom took her and her sister Maya to Canada, where she went to high school and then started
Montreal?
college there. Yeah. And
so she went to high school and started college there in her formative years. Wow. That's crazy.
then she, came as almost an adult to the United States and went to Howard University. And sort of immersed herself in that culture of the predominantly Black college. And then she came to San Francisco, where she went to Hastings in the Tenderloin area of San Francisco. So educationally, she's kind of traveled all over the United States.
But she spent her high school years in Canada.
Yeah, she spent her high school years in Canada.
Do you guys hear what Tucker Carlson and this lady is saying? She spent her formative years in Canada. Who is Kamala Harris?
Canada, and not in San Francisco. And so I think one of the interesting things that I found when looking at her background is the first time she registered to vote was at age 29. So
really?
Yeah. So many years after coming to the United States, and during the year that she dated our former mayor and speaker, Willie Brown, is the year that she registered to vote. And so connecting the dots, it seems like that might be the time when she decided that politics is in her future, because, she began to create a voting record and setting down roots at that time.
She hadn't registered to vote before she was
There's no
30.
record of her having registered to vote until she was almost 30, which is, I have nieces and nephews, and I urge them to get educated and register to vote and get active. And so, it's kind of an important thing. So well after she became an attorney, well after she became a prosecutor, she hadn't registered to vote.
Well, that's interesting.
Yo, is she a puppet? This is creepy, man. This is like almost like low key as creepy as Obama. Like, we don't know who these people are that they're putting in here to run our country. And then you find like they're saying the same things everywhere. These are robots, bro.
Should never again stand behind the
11 years after she was eligible.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
And that's interesting, not because everyone has to vote, in my opinion, but because she's described herself repeatedly in public as a child activist.
Yeah.
Hey, Nova, did you know that? Did you know she like grew up in Canada?
Basically leading the March on Washington. She single-handedly desegregated the American South.
Right.
You know, she was always into politics.
She was a warrior for freedom. You know, early on. And
there wasn't, just for the record, there was no segregation.
Yeah. I mean, country. Her mom was interviewed many years ago before she passed away and tells a story about how where they were growing up in Montreal in the apartment complex where they lived. Apparently children weren't allowed to play outside. So Kamala Harris single-handedly protested this and organized and forced the apartment building to allow children to be able to play outdoors. So
she was annoying as a child.
She was a activist as a child.
Yo, she is clipping freedom. She is clipping Kamala, bro.
According to her mom, but then, didn't exercise the most basic form of United States citizen activism by exercising the franchise until much later in life. And
after she was a lawyer, how did she become a lawyer?
Well, she became a lawyer, went to UC Hastings in downtown San Francisco. Did not pass the bar the first time she took it, did pass it the second time around.
Right. And y'all want her to be the president and she didn't pass the bar the first time she took it?
Got her first job after that as a prosecutor in Alameda County. So in Alameda County, she eventually specialized in child sex crimes, an important job. And according to research that was done by some of her opposition when she ran for district attorney in 2003, she tried something like 8 cases that they can prove there during her 8 years or so as a prosecutor in Alameda.
And she, she used to be a lawyer too. Let's learn about her a little bit. It says she's an American lawyer and Republican Party official. She is the former vice chairwoman of the California Republican Party and a national committee woman of the Republican National Committee of California. She is the founder of a law practice called Her Name Law Group, Inc. She helped launch the 501(c)(3) nonprofit Center for American Liberty, which does legal work related to civil liberties. She is a regular guest on Fox News during the pandemic, I should say. She filed numerous unsuccessful lawsuits to halt the implementation of stay-at-home order and other restrictions. She criticized face mask requirements, called for the reopening of the economy, and opposed mail-in voting. Oh, wow. So she's like pretty fire, bro.
Alameda County.
So I lack perspective on this. Is that a lot? A little?
It's very little.
Very little.
For somebody who's claimed today in all of her public appearances to have been a lifelong law enforcement officer and prosecutor, and when she ran for district attorney, claimed to have tried hundreds of cases. She actually, according to what I've been able to dig up and what her opposition dug up on her in 2003, which she never refuted, 2 cases in San Francisco during the 2 years that she worked at the DA's office before quitting and then planning her run against her boss. 8 in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. So she basically held those 2 jobs as a prosecutor. Now, Terrence Hallinan, let's set
she owned Kamala's biscuit.
The stage of my meeting her in San Francisco. So San Francisco had a very progressive prosecutor. I think he was elected in 1996 or so, named Terrence Hallinan.
Fair Chase Outdoors said he's lived too honest of a life to blackmail and has no dirt they have not uncovered. They've tried everything to no avail, which is why they have reverted to trying to unalive him. Pray for our country.
Famous person in
Famous
California.
guy. He was one of some brothers.
KP, another subscriber, said Kamala said she smoked and listened to Snoop and Tupac at college in the 80s. Snoop and Tupac came out in the 90s. She said she did that in the 80s? Oh, no.
My departed husband served on the board of the Liberal Pacifica radio station with one of the other Hallinan brothers. So, they were kind of regulars in the left-wing activist circles in San Francisco. And Hallinan promised to be a progressive prosecutor. And, he came on board and was a progressive prosecutor, would, serve soup at the soup kitchen.
Oh, my God, bro. You're right. Y'all seen this? Yo, something's up, bro. Kamala Harris once said she listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac and admitted to smoking weed in college. It says, as the 2024 presidential race gained momentum, social media users resurfaced a rumor from 2019 that Democratic candidate Kamala Harris once said she listened to Tupac, Snoop Dogg while smoking cannabis in college. In a late July, one ex-user posted a video and partial audio clip of Harris allegedly making the claim. The footage, which featured the Washington Post branding, was captioned, "Just casually remember the time Kamala Harris claimed that she used to smoke and listen to Tupac and Snoop Dogg while in college, even though she went to school in the 80s before they made music." The post had amassed more than 3.2 million views and 30,000 likes. A similar post appeared in March 2024 when one TikToker, I don't think she's silly enough to make this, like, I don't know, uploaded another video that featured a discussion of the claim on Fox News. The TikTok user captioned the video, "When VP Kamala Harris said she listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac while smoking in college in 1986. Fox News did indeed state that Harris listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac while smoking weed in college. The headline of the 2019 article discussed a rumor read, Kamala Harris says she listened to... Okay. Other posts and outlets also ran with the claim, pointing out that it would not have been possible for Harris to have listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac while enrolled in a university because she graduated from Howard University in 1986, whereas Tupac and Snoop Dogg did not release their debut album until 1991 and 1993, respectively. We looked into the rumors and found that while Harris did admit to smoking in college and did say she liked listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac, she did not claim to have listened to the two rappers while smoking in college. The claim stems from an interview Harris gave in February 2019 with morning radio show The Breakfast Club co-host Charlamagne the God asked the then senator whether she had smoked cannabis. So I think it was doctored up. A couple of minutes later, co-host DJ Envy asked her what kind of music did she listen to. Charlamagne the God asked what music she listened to when she was high. Harris laughed in response to Charlamagne the God's question, but she looked at DJ Envy while speaking, telling him that she listened to Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Cardi B. It would be reasonable to assume Harris was answering the question about her musical preferences while high and one only listened to the audio and read the transcripts. However, the footage showed Harris ignored Charlamagne the God question and responded to DJ Envy instead. So, like, yeah, I don't think she's that slow to have said that she listened to Snoop Dogg and, like, you know, Tupac in college. Like, I think it was taken out of context.
And things like that, kind of old school liberal. And that said, he was tough on murders and tough on the serious crimes, but it was the lower level drug dealers and so forth, that quality of life crimes that he was a little bit softer on. But he recruited Kamala Harris, or hired her anyway, and he hired her out of the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. And during that campaign in 2003, he actually said that he did it as a favor to the mayor of San Francisco.
Can you imagine somebody being so, like, not liking you, they go on Tucker Carlson? Like, trying to expose you? That is crazy. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if y'all can. That is crazy, bro.
What you want, the chances are you're not going to get it. Because the Democrat Party made a mistake.
Because I think I ended up seeing that. We're on a climb to 100,000 subscribers. Shout out to y'all. We got 19,838 subscribers in like 13, 14 days. Shout out to y'all. But I remember hearing that about her and Snoop Dogg. And I think I watched The Breakfast Club and I was like, nah, that ain't really what she said. But I'm still not voting for her.
They chose the wrong candidate. Now, there is a chance that she will win. Yes. But if she wins, that's...
Yeah, hit the super chat if y'all can. Appreciate that.
It's going to be...
Thank you, Nova. Nova be looking out. Shout out. Y'all do understand, like, if I'm doing videos like this, playing all these videos, like, I don't... Like, if I just do, like, a regular blog, I'm going to make way more money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing this to kind of bring awareness to what's going on, like, before the election. like showing people different videos and footage of different perspectives that you may not see in mainstream media. So the super chat and stuff like that does help. You know what I mean? Because I could just drop like a 10-minute, like 2 10-minute blogs and be done for the day. But I'd be on here for hours to try to show y'all things. And a lot of times I get like crumbs for doing it. So I appreciate everybody that do support.
In more ways than we can count, and more ways than we could probably comprehend at this moment. Because if the last 3.5 years has been an indication of anything, it's been an indication that the Democrat Party don't care about the middle class. They'll sell you out. And they've done that. It's just not a good look. And so you're going to have more of these people who are delusional. They trying to see something that isn't there. And at least on the Republican side, we know that Donald Trump is not a perfect person. We're not naive. We know that in his first administration, there was mistakes in regards.
All right, like this right here, bro. Like, let me show y'all this. What do y'all think about this? So Fox News poll, more Harris than Trump supporters think votes will be counted accurately and will accept outcome. With 2 weeks left until Election Day, the latest Fox News survey finds majority of Vice President Kamala Harris's supporters think votes will be counted accurately and say they will accept the results, whatever the outcome. The opposite is true among supporters of former President Donald Trump. Most voters backing Harris are extremely or very confident votes will be counted accurately nationwide, compared to just over a third of Trump supporters. Among voters overall, 58% are extremely or very confident. 2/3 of Harris supporters, 63%, say they will accept the. I can't believe that's even like real. They say they will accept the results of the election if she loses. Less than half of those backing Trump say they will accept the results of. I mean, you got to understand too, y'all. Like, I mean, we don't really think the last election was really that accurate. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying anything. I have my questions about it. That's all I'm saying.
So who he added in his cabinet and so forth. But that's not really a concern, because what matters most is not necessarily.
Nova said she won't do anything exclusively for black people, and we are talking about FBAs. Nova said she will hook up an immigrant real quick. The FBA conversation isn't for people who win this channel, but your stance and let me know. Shut out. So we voting for the felon.
Necessarily who was in his cabinet. What matters most is what were the results overall. At the end of the day, what happened? No new wars. Border was secured. Economy was booming. Sounds good to me.
I think we were safer. I think we were a lot safer under Trump, my personal opinion. Let's listen to what she
Donald Trump has been serving people at McDonald's. Trump decided to do a little bit of a shift at a McDonald's in Philadelphia, where he learned working in the back, you know, stacking up the fries, making the burgers, serving this to people. And we're getting the most interesting clips out.
Wait, so he actually worked at McDonald's recently? Kamala has like been faking?
Of this whole moment that he took on. Honestly, a brilliant bit of PR. Whoever on his campaign staff decided that this was the way to go. So very smart, especially when we have Kamala Harris saying, oh, I worked at McDonald's in the 80s and, you know, I've lived that lifestyle before of a minimum wage worker, although that has not been substantiated. We just have her word saying that. We have no proof. Donald Trump said, you know what? I'm going to actually head to McDonald's and do the work and see what it's like. And now we have these clips.
Okay, let's say. You believe this? Look at this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
Okay, so for his first order, yup.
Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it, huh? How are you? What a good-looking family. How did you produce those good-looking kids?
Yo, that's fire.
Oh, they look like the wife. They look.
I don't even go to McDonald's, but that's fire though.
How are you? Nice to see you. That's great. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay?
2024.
Oh, you're doing some extra stuff.
Oh, okay, great.
This is all on Trump.
Oh, all on Trump.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Let's check and make sure it's everything you said it would be.
It better be. It's going to be the best you ever. I made it myself.
You're the man. Make America great.
That's their order. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good time.
Now you run the risk of this looking absolutely ridiculous. Imagine any other billionaire that you can think of showing up to a McDonald's and saying, I'm gonna work a shift for the day and see how it goes. And we've sort of seen things like that. You know, you saw like Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio, who are these big TikTok stars, pretend to work at Walmart and do it for some sort of stunt. And that did not land well. If you'd imagine like Taylor Swift going and working at any given minimum wage job on any given day to sort of see what it's like for the working people, it would come off as so false. It would come off as pandering. But because Donald Trump is just so real, this is landing with not only people on the right, but people in the center, people on the left, people who despise this man are saying,
Yo, did y'all see what Judge Joe Brown said about Kamala Harris? He been going in on her lately.
I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but we got a witch running for president.
Judge Joe Brown has just gotten to a place in life like he does not care anymore, bro. He don't care. He gonna say what he feels, what he like. Yo, I'm rich, I'm old, I'm running out of time. I'm gonna say whatever I feel right now. Shout out to Judge Joe Brown, bro. He said we got a witch running for, like, what?
I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings, but we got a witch running for president. That woman is the worst kind of sleaze you can ever think of.
Hey, he taking thug life to another level. Thug life! I don't know if I would. Judge Joe Brown, bro. Hold on. We heard from Candace Owens that she was married before. We don't know who she was married to before. We don't know, man. We don't know nothing about her. We know she's been like trying to hug up with celebrities. Montel Williams. We know she went to school in Canada. Like, who is this lady, bro? But I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't like go that. Judge Joe Brown, you kind of wilding, bro.
I was in California when it was going down. And I used to represent 40 years ago a whole chunk of pimps and hoes in Memphis. And I know a hoe when I see one.
Wait a minute! Subscribe to the channel. We trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. If y'all can. I don't know, man. What did she do to him?
And when I see a hoe, I know she got a pimp. And I want to find out who the pimps are that we getting tricked out on the benefit of.
Bars.
Who are the pimps that this woman is working for? And I see some decent ladies out there. I've met a few of you. And I resent the fact that you got a hoe that's being your face.
Judge Thug Brown, wait a minute. He wildin'. Yo. Yo, bruh.
You see, tomorrow is yesterday today, so today was yesterday, and it'll be tomorrow tomorrow. That's why we have to understand today. What the hell did you just say? and you're going to fake off about being a Negro. I met a daddy, sat next to the man for 2.5 hours at the Governor General's table down in Jamaica. My ex-wife asked him what he was. He said he was Irish and he was Hindu. She said, you don't have anybody black in your family? He said, no.
And you know what? He actually got me for a moment here. This feels really wholesome. I like that he took time out of his day to go ahead and do this. Here's some more clips.
Tight. You got the salt on it. Never touches the human hand. Very good. Nice and full. Very good. Good. Tight.
And he's apparently amazed by the fact that they're not like grabbing the fries and throwing them in cartons. There's multiple clips. He's like, I thought the fries touched hands, and I'm so glad to know that they're not just grabbing the fries and throwing them in the carton for people. You have this.
I think he's a notorious germaphobe, by the way. So that might be
one. I'm trying to let it calm down. I didn't know Judge Joe Brown was about to wild out like that, bro. I didn't know he was about to do that. Shout out to Art from the Art of Dialogue. Again, we following each other. Shout out to them. Let's listen to Judge Joe Brown, man.
When you do the casting couch or anything else. So I'm not surprised at what she does. She's 60 years old, and I think listening to her work.
Hold on, let me see. Yo, you got 878,000 views off this art. This is crazy, bro.
Ask you about Kamala
Shout out to
Harris.
Kathleen.
How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. I was out in California for 15 years doing my show when she was at her peak, and she had a reputation amongst the trial lawyers of being lazy. She just hike her skirt up and try to flirt, and she wasn't that good in the courtroom, if not pretty bad in the courtroom. So I'm not surprised at what she does. She's 60 years old, and I think listening to her word salad and the way she talks, I think she's got early onset dementia and also some
Bruh.
problems with menopausal complications.
Nova, you hear this? He is wilding.
That's that. You see, today is going to be tomorrow. So since it's going to be tomorrow, today we have tomorrow, which is why we are now. Like, what did you say? They have something in mind, but they cannot cognate getting all the way through it, which is why she's famous for this word salad garbage, and she doesn't make a bit of sense. I think since she's only 60, she's actually on a worse track than Biden was. Biden is 20-some years older than her, and he has been senile for a long time. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, when did they start ramping up to do this? 2019. Okay, I was saying Biden has been a failure his whole adult career, a second-rate, third-string player. He's in the game, so he wants to make a name for himself. I considered him for years poor trailer park, urban trailer park trash. And he's a crook. He's a third stringer. Now, what I said he was going to do is he probably wants to claim fame for being the first person to see to it that a woman got to be president. And what I predicted, I'm slightly wrong on it, was that he was going to get in, try to get elected, and if he got one term, try to get elected for a second one. And then halfway through his term, when he had served 2 years, to retire or resign in her favor. So under the 22nd Amendment, what happens is she can serve for the final 2 years for somebody and then be elected twice more, so that woman would be able to serve 10 years, second only to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who got elected to 4 terms before they put the amendment in place so you couldn't. Now, that said, I think, and my major at UCLA was political science, my analysis is they picked the weakest somebody they could as a figurehead, somebody who had some apparent minority status, which she does not. And what goes on is that you get her, everybody that is everybody would be afraid to go against her because of what she can pass herself off as. And then you get somebody that's easy to control because she's lazy, because she is becoming incoherent, and because she's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it.
Yo, he said she ain't trying to get to the casting couch. Y'all is crazy. Somebody said Kamala probably looked good when she was younger. Let's see. She was all right. She's all right. She was all right. I know some of y'all would still clap, bro.
In this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one. And I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional...
Bro, I'm about to look this up, and Kamala Harris casting couch, bro.
Purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? Somebody, one of her sycophant slaves, comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, oh yeah, I'm Julius Caesar. He said, no, I got better stuff here already.
Y'all is petty, bro. Look at this. Y'all are terrible. Y'all is terrible, bruh.
Plus, I don't want you anyway, you old woman. Get on up, you know.
He making it sound like Kamala is like terrible looking. She ain't like that bad looking. She not my type, but she not a bad looking woman at all. Like, I don't think she is.
Or Xi Jinping.
Judge Joe Brown is a fool. He wilding on it. He making it seem like she like a. What would y'all rate like Kamala Harris from a 1 to a 10? I mean, she older, so you know you got to give a little bit of leeway. I would say she like a. Hold on, let me see this picture real quick. Like for an older woman, she don't look 60. She does not look like a 60-year-old woman. She doesn't. She looks like she's in her 50s. I'll say that. You know what I mean? So I don't know, because when I heard her birthday was, I think, yesterday, on the 20th. Yesterday. So when I heard she was like up there like that, I'm like, what? Like she don't look like she that old, man. At least what I've seen, she's probably like she's above average. She's like a 6. You might even, I mean, considering her age. Like, for women that are that age, she's probably... Is she real clean, too? She probably like a 6 or 7. Right? Like, I would say for that age, like, she's not bad.
Is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today.
Yeah, Harold Owen said, he's a subscriber. He said she's a 6 for her age. Yeah, she not bad. He I mean, I get it, Judge Joe Brown. You don't like her, bro, but like this seems low key malicious what he doing, bro.
Hey, because
I'm not voting for her, but you kind of wilding, bro.
China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? You know, did you say anything? And I've never seen such a salacious mess as I've seen out of her. I think a One West Bank. I had some pretty good properties out in California.
Yeah, you can tell what she looks like from like her neck, because she hasn't had like any neck surgery or like what do you call it? Like a neck lift. She looks like somebody who used to work out that's getting older. That's what she looked like. She don't look bad. Like, I mean, like, would you clap? Like, I probably would. I ain't gonna even hold you. Like, I mean, I'm not voting for her, but I probably, like, for an older woman, like, yeah, I hit that, bro.
At one point in time, and I know I had 3 neighbors who had good properties. It was in a place called Ojai, California, and they got caught up about 15, 16 years ago, like a lot of people did.
Hey, the smoke spot said I'll be. Yo, I don't know, man. Y'all wouldn't, man, get out of here, bro. Y'all is lying. Y'all is straight up cap, bro. And I only looked up Casting Couch because y'all, like, we was watching that. Hold on. Y'all wouldn't clap. Like, come on, bro. This, like, stuff like this makes me not want to. But I think, like, overall, she look all right. She be clean. She be cleaner than a lot of women, bro. Like, let's keep it real. She be cleaner than a lot of women. You don't be seeing women like that clean. You know what I mean? Like, and I think you get, like, points for being, like, mad clean. So shout out to her, bro. But I ain't voting for her, though.
Did in that mortgage bundling scam stuff that was going on.
Crazy.
And there was a bank called One West Bank responsible for it, which was owned by George Soros. The Mnuchin that you have out of the Obama administration.
Bro, she gotta have something good. Cause you got you gotta think about this, bro. She done, like, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, allegedly cheated and all that. And the dude's still with her. Didn't he cheat too? Like, I don't know. Like, she cheated on somebody to get ahead. But, and then dudes is still sticking with her. It must be good, bro. It must be. I don't know. If you're in a situation room and you got, and you looking around, you got all these, like, old ladies that's, like, dusty, you know what I mean? And you see her, you like, you know your mind is up. Like, when you, like, come on, y'all dudes, right? And girls, like, hold on. You know, like, when you around people and you be like, who the best looking girl, bro? You don't even be wanting to do it. You just be like, who the best looking one over here? If I could, it'd be her. Like, she would be one of them. Thug life. I'd be like around, like, you know what I'm saying? We in the White House, you know. Like, she could get cleaned up real quick.
Was Mnuchin, who was the CEO of One West Bank. Well, there were approximately 1,200 counts of indictments returned against Mnuchin and One West Bank in various counties in California. Well, Mnuchin and Soros financed and arranged and sponsored Kamala to run for Attorney General of California. They got her.
He put himself in a lot of liability, because it's one thing to say, all right, I think she's unqualified. I think she says a lot of word salad. I think she may be getting an onset of it's one thing to say all that, but when you get on a podium and you like, she's a H word, she's this, she's that, bro, it's like you putting yourself, Judge Joe Brown, at risk for her to, like, she can come well, he a lawyer, he don't care. Oh, he a judge. He rich, he don't care. he probably like, I ain't got that much time. I'm gonna say what I want.
Elected, she got in, and using the authority she had, she promptly consolidated all 5,200 counts and dismissed them. And a couple of weeks later, Soros sold One West Bank for $4.2 billion. So after that, they got together and got her finance and got everything organized and made the connections for her, and she got elected to U.S. Senator. Willie Brown made the initial contacts and arrangements so she could get elected.
Nova is the #1 contributor today
As district attorney for San Francisco. She didn't do a very good job. She had a reputation for giving out the stiffest sentences in the United States of America for simple possession of marijuana in San Francisco, for God's sakes. But it was only to young black men. She's not a parent, never had any children, but she went off on this campaign to lock parents up, some of whom actually were shown to have dropped their children off at the school, but they played.
Yeah, and then some of them were like, their kids are in the hospital, and they had like pictures of their kid in the hospital, and she still went after them anyway.
Played hooky, so she was putting them in jail. I know my in-laws, now late in-laws because they're dead, and their fine daughter that I was married to, we were divorced. She got a whole lot of money, but anyway, out of me. What wound up happening was there was a liquor store they like to patronize on the way home, and it was a good liquor store, but it got held up a lot, so Kamala's solution was not go get the crooks, but close down the liquor store so nobody would be troubled by it. See, that kind of philosophy, or you've got a serial killer who's got 6 victims, and the families are writing protest letters to her, not hurry up and do something, not why are you giving the guy such a light deal, is why don't you let this man plead guilty to life without parole instead of delaying it for 7 years, trying to make political hay out of it.
That's scary that people do that. They don't realize, like, a lot of lawyers and stuff, like, this is a person's life you dealing with. Like, they look at people as like numbers and stuff like that. Like, somebody's literally sitting behind bars while you're eating a steak. You see what I'm saying? Or you going out, you going to different states and traveling and having fun, and somebody is literally sitting behind bars because of something you doing. It's crazy, bro.
I was caught up in a thing where this woman who was supposed to be a financial specialist wound up embezzling a lot, $1.5 million from me, about $15 million from some other black celebrities. And most of it was in the San Francisco area, not LA where I was. She consolidated the cases up there in San Francisco.
This makes me scared to get old, bro. I mean, we want to get older, but like, you done lived so much life, like you just tired, and you just like going in on everybody, like, yeah, you can't run no more. You can't, like, you just bitter. I guess it depends on what type of like person you become. Like, I don't know.
Took 5 years to resolve it. Let her plead out not the $15 million of embezzlement, but $35,000. The sentence was 5 years in the penitentiary, 4.5 years suspended, 5 years probation. The woman wound up sitting on a bench outside Sybil Branch, which is the women's detention facility in L.A. County, for 5.5 hours. That's all the time she served, made no restitution. And la-di-da, I'm through with it now, I don't care, on her behalf. Like, where's our money? What did you do here? You didn't even consult with us. You did this on a surprise basis. That's $15 million gone. What happened? It's the kind of thing she would do, see. So it's like, that was not a good professional performance. And then she was
Bro, I think it's like I don't like her, which I don't like certain things. I don't think she's presidential, but I think this dude wilding. Let's see what Dr. Umar Johnson got to say. The blackity black, black, and I'm black, y'all. And I'm blackity black, and I'm black, y'all. Let's see what he got to say about it. And I'm bliggity black.
House niggas, just like Barack Obama, they do what they need to do to stay close to the white power structure. She made a career locking up black people. This is the same woman who went on international television, Art, let me remind you, about a year or two ago and said America is not a racist country.
Like her saying that and Lil Wayne saying that, it still is crazy. It's still really wild that they say stuff like that.
You want me to go vote for a so-called black woman who went on international television and told the world that America is not a racist country? She spit in the face of the family of Trayvon Martin. She spit in the face of the family of Breonna Taylor. She spit in the face of the family of Michael Brown, Alton Sterling.
Yo, that Michael Brown case was like crazy too, bro.
Philando Castile, Amir Locke, Dante. We can go on and on. Tamir Rice, all the Africans murdered by police, which are state-sanctioned executions. Let us be clear. The police are agents of the state.
First of all, they black. They're not Africans. Let's get that right. Like, cause I ain't like, if something happened to me, I don't want people to be like, oh, he African. No, I'm black. I'm like, I'm not African, bro. I've never been African before. I don't know. Like you bugging. Africans don't even like black people. I'm black.
When the police kills a black person, that is a state-sponsored execution. And in response to all this racism, the execution of George Floyd, this part-time black woman says America is not racist.
This part-time black woman, yo, he is wildin'. Yo, I mean, if you look at Candace Owens' video, Candace Owens kind of broke down her family history. And we know she's not who she says she is. She's taking pictures with ladies, with this lady that she claims is her grandmother that wasn't even alive, like, when she was born. Like, it's just Photoshop. It's like, and then that lady is the help of the house, wasn't even her real grandmother. Candace Owens finds out her grandmother's actually white, Miss Beryl. And then she has this older, like, Jamaican lady come on and discuss, you know, Miss Beryl, Kamala Harris's real grandmother. She ends up giving stories about her, so we don't know. And this lady, like, her formative years, like, she went to Canada high school, like we don't know this lady, bruh. And it's like, it's so strange, like, how quick they are to get, like, even Obama wasn't even raised, like, over here. Like, it's crazy, like, the type of people that they pick. They like the Timu blacks, bro. Like, it's like, bro, she Indian and then she these people, bro.
And when I say part-time, Art, I'm not poking fun at her because she's being mixed race.
Remember when Elizabeth Warren was saying she was Indian? to get that, what was it, grant or something like that? These people are crazy. Like, the Democratic Party, they be wildin', man. They be wild. Like, who is Kamala Harris? Not she black?
I want to be clear. I'm poking fun at her because she can rarely be found speaking up for black people.
Bro, she is like the Timu. She the Timu black person. Facts. Like, I mean, just be who you are. Like, I don't have to, like, just say who you are. Like, I would have more respect if she would be like, I'm Jamaican and Indian. I'll be like, all right, fire. That's fire. You know, but, like, don't be making stuff up.
My issue ain't her being mixed race. Nobody's responsible for how they come into this world. My issue with her is not identifying with her people. I remember another interview I saw with Kamala Harris, Art, and she said, somebody asked her, what are y'all going to do?
Hit the subscribe button. Y'all trying to play me. Wait a minute. We got 70,000 views up in here. Y'all trying to play me. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. He got 762,000 subscribers. Can I get 100,000? What is wrong with y'all? Wait a minute. I'm about to turn this off, bro. What is y'all doing? Y'all like my hat? Like, what is this? I could be watching a movie.
Black people. And she said, we can't pass laws just for black people. She said this.
Don't be trying to subscribe now. Y'all trying to play me. The subscribe button is right there at the top. It ain't hidden. It's there for a reason. Click it.
We can't do things just for black. Well, Kamala Harris, can I ask you a question, Madam Vice President? If the Democratic Party can't do anything just for black people,
Shaylin said I already did.
Why did y'all pass a law only for Asians?
Yeah, if you can't do anything for black people, why did you pass a law only for Asians? Man, talk to these people, bro.
She said this. We can't do things just for black. Well, Kamala Harris, can I ask you a question, Madam Vice President? If the Democratic Party can't do anything just for black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians?
Facts!
Why did y'all pass a law only for Native Americans?
Facts!
Why did y'all pass a law only for transgenders? Why did y'all pass a law only for LGBTQs? Why did y'all pass a law only for immigrants? If you can't do anything just for black people, this is what she said.
I'm moving out this country, bro. Like, we're not doing this, bro. Like, they are never going to do anything for black people at all. Like, and people don't even realize a lot of people were living better under Trump, bro. Like, if they're not going to do anything, you might as well go with the person that's going to give you at least a chance. You know what I mean? And I think I had a lot of chances when Trump was president. But now it's like everything's super expensive. It's crazy, bro. It's like you walk out of the house and you spending $100. Like, dang, the air costs $100 now? Bro, if they can charge you for air, they would. They would. They charge you for water. They charge you to heat your house. They charge you, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is just crazy expensive now. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they're never going to do anything just for black people. It don't matter, like Ice Cube going up and talking to people. They're never going to really do anything to that magnitude. You know what I mean? And that's why the Democratic Party are trying to get immigrants in here and like flood the border. Like, they're trying to do that so they don't have to pander to blacks no more. They're like, we tired of these. He's tired of these people. They keep asking for stuff. We done gave them welfare, and they keep asking for stuff. Let's flood the border. Like, I'm tired.
It came out of her mouth. If you can't do anything just for black people, how was it possible for you and President Biden to do all these other things for specific ethnic groups in this country from whose benefit no other group can take anything from?
Mm-hmm.
Complete contradiction. Kamala Harris is not for black people. But you know what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you why they went that way. Or if they stay that way, they could flip her out. But let's say, for the sake of conversation, because Joe Biden did pass her his nomination, even though it's not his decision. She has his support, but the party got to choose her in Chicago. But let's say Kamala Harris gets the Democratic Party nomination in Chicago the week of my birthday, August 19th, I believe the DNC begins, or the 17th. Anyhow, here's why they're going to go that way, Art. Why are the Democrats about to give us the first woman president in American history? I'm going to tell you why. In 2022, there were 10 million more women registered to vote than men in America. Now, I'm talking everybody, Art. Black, white, red, yellow, brown, gay, straight, everybody. There were 10 million more women registered to vote than men, even though there's only about 3 more million women than men in this country. Population-wise, there's not a great gender disparity. You only see that when you come to the black community for reasons of extermination, incarceration, okay, miseducation, right, and sexual confusion, right? So outside of black America, the male-female gender balance is almost the same. I believe there's 168 million adult women in America, and there's about 165 million adult men in America. So you only have a 3 million person discrepancy. Now, those 10 million votes, there's 10 million more women registered to vote than men are. Elections have been decided by votes less than 10 million. You've had elections decided by 1 million. You had elections decided by 2 million. You've had elections decided by 3 million. You've had elections decided by 700,000 votes. If there's 10 million more women registered to vote than men in America across all race, colors, and class, if we nominate Kamala Harris as the Democratic Party's president, can she bring us those women votes, those undecided women? Can Kamala Harris bring us all the poor black women, the working class black women, the upper class? Can she bring us the white middle class women? Can she bring us the poor white women? They are banking on the fact that there's 10 million more women than men registered. And if we stick Kamala Harris out there for us, can she bring us the greater share of those 10 million female votes?
Wow. And then shout out to Goliath Zia with the $10 donation. Appreciate you. Nova with the $9.99. Sheba, you are saying a whole bunch of nothing. Thug Life, Piper Boy. Shout out to you.
Here's what it's going to come down to. Do white women prefer a woman of color or a white man? That's what it's going to do. White American women prefer to have a white man in the presidency or a woman of color? And you know what I think, Art? I'm not completely decided, but I would say to you, wasn't this question already answered for us when Donald Trump took on Hillary Clinton? Did not America's white women choose Trump over Clinton? When it came time for the Electoral College to cast them votes, they went with Trump. So if they chose Trump over Clinton, here's the question, Art. If American white women chose Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton the first time Trump ran against a Democratic female, why would they?
And I think she was like Hillary, she's corrupt too, but she was way more smart than Kamala Harris. So she didn't win. Like, I don't know.
A switch and choose Kamala Harris over Trump the second time. If they chose Trump over a very well experienced, very popular Hillary Clinton the first time, why would they switch and now choose a black woman, half black, half South Asian, half East Indian? Why would they choose a black woman over Trump when they didn't even choose Hillary Clinton over Trump? But I'm telling you this, brother. I'm going to the Democratic National Convention. I'm going to try to get there because that's going to be a circus. You ain't.
That's interesting. That's interesting that he said all
You know, Kamala Harris.
Music mogul Jermaine Dupri has a really important question.
Hold on. No, that ain't the video.
CBS 60 Minutes released.
So they so it looks like 60 Minutes is now coming out. Got something to say.
Released a statement accusing Donald Trump of being a liar after calling him out for releasing an interview with 2 answers to the very same question. Let's talk about it.
Boo-hoo, whining and crying.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about CBS 60 Minutes releasing a statement calling Donald Trump a liar.
Shout out to Nova with the $9.99 Sheba. As I said in the chat, Trump never did anything against us. Trump will get this migrant situation together, which will benefit us.
For pointing out how they released 2 answers to the same question from a Kamala Harris interview. Now, we're going to get to the video in a minute in which you can see how different the answers were. Now, it's pretty clear what they did here. They put out one version of the interview. We all saw it. Like, I saw it on social media. I was retweeting it and everything. There was an answer about Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the first answer was word salad at best. The second answer wasn't that much better, but it was a little bit better.
Oh, shout out to him, Anthony Brian Logan. He's got over 1 million subscribers. Shout out to him.
Now, some are going to say, well, ABL, they always edit interviews. Things are always taken out. But that's not really what happened here. What happened here is that one version of the answer was released. It was on the internet. I saw it. It had millions of views. And then, in my opinion, when they saw how negatively people were reacting to that answer, they released another answer. I've never in my life seen such a thing. Look, editing a video, editing whatever, okay, I understand. But you do that before it gets released, not let it sit for a day and do kind of an A/B test. Oh, well, that didn't do well. How's that going to do? This is totally crazy and not in my lifetime have I ever seen it before. Now, before I go any further.
What do you guys think about that? Them editing that video with Kamala Harris 60 Minutes.
Let's get to the actual question and answer in question. All right. And then we're going to get to the statement from them.
If anybody out there can reach out to me that may know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows Megyn Kelly, let me know, because she be having good content. I want to make sure I can play her content without getting hit with copyright.
In which they centered it around Trump, calling him a liar. But really, all of us who saw this and have a pair of eyes in the brain, we're saying the same thing that he did. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
And I'm saying that because, like, y'all be knowing a lot of people, bro. Like, y'all be getting in touch with, like, it be happening, bro. Like, so that's why I'm just putting that out there. If y'all, because she be having some videos I do want to react to.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel.
Y'all wouldn't clap. I don't know.
That were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
So And here's my video that I was talking about it. I'll link to that in the box. Shout out to my Instagram and TikTok people. But you saw that there was two different answers to the question.
Right.
It's two different answers. Now they're going to say, oh, we just made it be more succinct. Okay, but look, you released both. You put out both. We have both. That is something that I have never seen before. Now, here's a statement from them. Okay, let's get into the statement. They put this out on last night, 7 p.m. Let's check it out. And there's no video, there's no nothing. It's a statement. So check it out. Former President Donald Trump. See what they started it with? Immediately getting into Trump. So it's kind of like you kind of get Pavloved, right? You hear that bell, you just want to react right away. It's the same thing. President Donald Trump. Oh, that must be the reason why there's controversy. So whatever the controversy is, if Trump's behind it, that must mean that it's not really serious. So that's how they start. Former President Donald Trump is accused 60 Minutes of deceitful editing of our October 7th interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. That is false. Now, you know what's false is framing it as if it's just...
All right, so former President Donald Trump is accusing 60 Minutes of deceitful editing of our October 7th interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. That is false. 60 Minutes gave an excerpt of our interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of her answer than the 60 Minutes same answer, same answer, but a different portion of the response. When we edit any interview, whether like y'all did, like what is y'all, please?
Trump. I'm saying the same thing. Millions of anybody with a pair of eyes in the brain can see what y'all did. But anyway, 60 Minutes gave an excerpt of an interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of her answer than on 60 Minutes. Same question, same answer, but a different portion of the response, a different version of the response. Because let's just say, for example, I'm not saying this is the exact length of time that the answer was. Let's just say, for example, for math's sake, let's say the original answer was a minute and a half long, minute 30 seconds. And then they cut the answer down to 45. They cut it in half, cut it down to 45 seconds. You can say it's the same answer. It was just edited to give more clarity or whatever.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can chop anything up, man, and make it look completely different. They know what they're doing, man.
Former President Trump today demanding that CBS News release a full transcript of Vice President Harris's interview with 60 Minutes as the network defends airing two seemingly different answers from Harris responding to a question about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Here are the two different answers one that was played in a tease, and then one that was played in the 60 Minutes actual segment. So you can see, you're going to hear the same question twice. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
You see the difference there. So in a statement, CBS said in part, 60 Minutes gave an excerpt of our interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of our answer than we used on 60 Minutes. Same question, same answer, but different portion of the response. Joining me now, Howie Kurtz, Media Buzz host. Howie, great to have you with us. Great show yesterday, as always, on Media Buzz. Untangle what CBS is up to here.
Nova, what do you think about this? Like, this is crazy. Like, this 60 Minutes like, their response is insane.
This is a pathetic response by 60 Minutes after a week of silence. It basically says, yeah, we did it, so what? And, you know, they talk about making...
Yeah, that's basically what they saying. That's crazy.
Kamala Harris to sound more succinct. In other words, making her look better by switching up the answers, as you just saw. You can't have a different part of an answer to the same question. It's blatantly unethical. And if someone on my staff did that, they'd be looking for a new job. The simplest thing would be to post the transcript. And if they thought that this was going to exonerate them, they would post a transcript. I think they're hiding something, and they're afraid to do that.
I think you're so right about that, because so often, Howie, 60 Minutes will say, oh, you know, go to 60 Minutes Extra and you can see the entire thing. But they never did that, did they?
Yeah, Rich, it's crazy work, man.
Absolutely not. And they're refusing to do it.
Yeah, exactly. On the rise, they made her look horrible.
And it's impossible to imagine.
Yo, hey, somebody said, oh, you're great at battle rap because you don't approach it with this type of vibe. Bro, I'm Republican. Like, what do you, I'm Republican. Like, what do you, like, it's what it is. I'm not about to get on here and, like, advocating for, like, them. Like, I'm Republican. Like, I called out some things when people were saying that she tried to say she was listening to Tupac and Biggie. Or Tupac and Snoop Dogg when she was in high school. What did I do? I fact checked that and said that wasn't true. Like, but I'm not about to be like all on the Kamala Harris campaign. I don't think she's the right person for the job.
That if it helped
if you want to watch somebody that is the right person for the job, go watch them. I'm doing my own thing. You can't control me. I can talk and say what I want.
Days, we wouldn't have seen this transcript days ago.
Yeah, and one of the issues with the vice president and the way she speaks is what people often refer to as words.
Hollywood. Hollywood and Vine, get out of here. She said Trump going to prison. Get out of here with that.
Salad, right?
Wow.
So by extracting that part, you are also taking away from some of the editorial interest in her response, no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost speechless because 60 Minutes, 50 years was sort of the gold standard of news magazine reporting, and they've really created this mess for themselves, and this statement doesn't make it any better. Now, when I talked to former President Trump over the weekend, he says, he wants CBS off the air, he wants to yank the license. I don't necessarily agree with that. You're making an awful...
Yeah, there's more black people voting for Trump than ever, bro. I'm not about to sit here and be making cases for Kamala Harris when she's being asked direct questions on how she's going to help us, and she starts talking about how she's going to help the banks. Well, I respect your opinion in battle rap, but in politics, you're biased. Yes, I'm biased. I already said that. Like, I don't think she's going to, I'm not voting for her.
A lot of people pay the price with nothing to do with 60 Minutes. But at the same time, CBS's damage control here is just...
Bro, you know how much money people lost in the stock market with Biden being in here? Like, are you crazy? Like, nobody wants her in, bro.
Making it more damaging.
Yeah, indeed. And I would...
Interest rates were insane. Like, you cool with that?
I encourage everybody to tune in and listen to his answer on The Enemy Within as well, which I thought was very interesting. It was a very in-depth interview. Howie, thank you.
Naming Pelosi and Adam Schiff, of course, as
Absolutely.
you well know.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But perhaps there is no better example of how differently these administrations will run and make policy than at two rallies over the weekend, where someone called out Jesus is Lord at a Kamala Harris rally and someone called out Christ is King at a J.D. Vance rally. And their reactions were chalk and cheese. Look at how Kamala reacted to this fellow in the crowd simply calling out Jesus is Lord.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Liz Cheney, you hear that? Miss Liz Cheney, you hear that?
But unfortunately,
No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
You hear that?
Just mocking him. Those two young men then talked to Fox News, sharing their experience of then being ushered out of the rally. They weren't even allowed to stay for simply stating Jesus is Lord. Now, you don't have to be a Christian, you don't have to be a Catholic, but where's the tolerance? Where's the inclusion, Kamala and co? And let's not forget, within hours of this, Kamala was rocking up at a church,
subscribe,
trying to play the Christian card.
She is something else, bro. Like, nah, bro. This lady, bro. And I do think I'm biased. I defended her against Judge Joe Brown. Didn't I just defend her? I'm like, yo, like, you can not like her, but calling her all out of her name and stuff is like not, you know, you putting yourself, like, I literally just defended her. But I don't think she should be president.
I mean, the hypocrisy here. 1 minute, somebody gets booted out of your rally for yelling, Jesus is Lord. And the next, well, I'm at church. Yeah. I'm front line and center. I'm pressing the flesh.
And did y'all see that, like, police was actually escorting people out of the church while she was there? Church!
Photo op.
I'm not even religious, and I think that's crazy.
Shouting out, to be fair though, the shouting out of Jesus is Lord is like the "Let's Go Brandon" of the abortion debate in the US. So clearly, when she's talking about, you know, reproductive rights or whatever they call it, or, you know, reforming.
So you think abortion. They should have been?
No, I don't. But it's like their way of saying, no, screw you. That's anti-Catholic. That's anti-Christian. That's anti-religious. What you should have said, but the mistake that Kamala made was to say, there's actually, for someone who says Jesus is Lord, or someone who even is pro-life or whatever, there's no place for you in the Democratic Party. That is insane. By saying you are not welcome at this rally and literally physically removing them, she's saying...
Yeah, she's literally like alienating like her voters. It's crazy.
There is no place for you in the Democratic Party. And that is, of course, a terribly, terribly stupid and damaging thing to do.
In America, particularly.
Especially in America, and especially when you've got so
They're
many...
not even in America, and they see that that's, like, silly.
Let's check and make sure it's everything you said it would be.
It better be. It's going to
to be for the people, but actually are the elites. So this is only a win. You could see the absolute joy of all of the people who were showing up at the line, the drive-through line. You could see the joy of the employees, and you could see the joy in Trump. You know, Trump loves to work more than anything.
That was a positive moment, bro. He did that on their birthday. Trump is so petty. He's like, yo, I'm gonna have the biggest press conference. I'm gonna, like, you know what I'm saying, go to McDonald's, like, she fake like she worked at McDonald's. I'm gonna go to McDonald's and actually work at McDonald's, give people free food, pay for their food, Like, yo, bruh.
Else, Trump loves work. He loves success. I genuinely think he liked doing that. And I don't. Somehow they got
he seemed like he enjoyed it.
An apron that fit perfectly. And
you better thank a union member. You better thank a This lady is hilarious, bro. Kamala
worked with his red tie, and his hair is as golden as the French fries. I think this thing was just a win and a win and a win.
Yeah, and actually you can tell how big a win it was just by how much whining is going on from the Dems afterwards. Amisha,
exactly.
You were laughing at some of Dave's claims there. Did you not embrace the full joy of the Donald at McDonald's?
No, absolutely not. I don't think that a guy who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth who chooses a day to cosplay as a McDonald's employee is something we should be celebrating.
Why
These
not?
are people who've been fighting to have minimum wage. These are people who are fighting to have minimum wage increases, which the Republican Party and Donald Trump is against. This is not.
Yo, is she talking in 2XP? She like talking fast, bro. Hold on.
It's a win and a win and a win.
Yeah, and actually you can tell how big a win it was just by how much whining is going on from the Dems afterwards. Amisha,
exactly.
You were laughing at some of Dave's claims there. Did you not embrace the full joy of the Donald at McDonald's?
Yo, this dude nervous. He got his microphone up. Like, he got... This dude got his microphone, like, mad close. Like, this dude is nervous, bro.
No, absolutely not. I don't think that a guy who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth who chooses a day to cosplay as a McDonald's employee.
And I can't take people serious that got like AirPods in their ear while they're on like a form like
is something we should be celebrating.
Why
These
not?
are people who've been fighting to have minimum wage. These are people who are fighting to have minimum wage increases, which the Republican Party and Donald Trump is against. This is not a cosplay moment. I didn't see this as any different than I saw it as when Gwyneth Paltrow, the famous actress, decided she was going to go on food stamps for a week.
I was in a movie with Gwyneth Paltrow called Pure Country Gift. No, it was I can't remember it. It was a Nashville type movie. I was in a movie with her. I played her personal assistant.
Is a ploy, and in many cases, it's making fun of the very individuals who have to live off of these minimum wages every day.
Making fun
who cannot afford childcare, who cannot afford childcare, who cannot afford cars in many cases, who are having a hard time paying their rent.
Hang on.
Can I finish?
Well, I want to make the point
Can
about.
I finish?
I want to
Because I was
react to
making
what
a
you
point.
just said.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're talking about someone who does not
Yo, how do I not remember the movie I'm in?
agree with raising minimum.
It's Country Strong is the movie I'm in. I can't even believe I can't remember that.
Wage. We're talking about a party that is
I'm at the end of the movie.
not supported reducing child poverty rates. They did not support extended child tax credits. This is a party that does not care about not only sustaining the middle class, but obviously people who are earning poverty wages. So yes, he went in, he donned a cape, he donned an...
Yo, her makeup low key like she on fleek, bro. Like she on fleek, bro. Larry Elder trying not to laugh.
Of the day, we're talking about someone who does not agree with raising minimum wage. We're talking about a party that has not supported reducing child poverty rates. They did not support extended child tax credits. This is a party that does not care about not only sustaining the middle class, but obviously people who are earning poverty wages. So yes, he went in, he donned a cape, he donned an apron, and now he is supposed to be someone who people who are, living paycheck to paycheck are supposed to be able to relate to.
I think you might be slightly...
And she can't, she is so democratic. Like, she can't even, think about the 4 years that when Trump was running it. She's forgetting, wages are stagnated. She's forgetting, all the interest rate hikes. She's forgetting all of that. She's forgetting the high cost of living. She's forgetting the gas prices. That affects people that are not middle class. A lot of that wasn't going on when Trump was president. What is wrong? What is wrong with us, bro? Hey, what is wrong with, look at this, bro. Look at my notifications. It's somebody oh, Piper Boy, stop cooning and falling for propaganda. You smarter than that. Why? What's up with the bully? Why do we be bullying people like that? For people that be doing this. We don't even know this lady. Harris graduated from Westmount High School in Montreal in 1981. Harris attended Vanier College in Montreal in 1981. We don't even know this lady, bruh. And we quick to try to bully each other for this lady. Like, what?
I think you're sort of overthinking this. You remind me a little bit of Michael Bloomberg, who was sat in front of Trump at the Al Smith dinner the other day, and for 28 minutes managed not to crack any facial expression whatsoever, even as Trump was rattling off a series of indisputably hilarious zingers. And I think it takes a lot of real effort.
Hey, we hit 89,000 subscribers. We on the climb to 100,000. Shout out to everybody, bro. Everybody has been subscribing. I appreciate y'all.
Maybe he didn't find them funny.
Well, it just makes me laugh that Kamala Harris is all about finding the joy in life. There you've got Trump cracking funny jokes and no one on your side wants to laugh, and we'll come to that in a bit.
I come from a family where I was raised on food stamps. I come from a family where...
Yeah, but I came from a family that was... I was raised on food stamps. I can crack a joke. I can laugh at a joke. What, like, this angry black woman stuff, bro. Like, y'all gotta chill. She is so mad. She act like she's so broke. Look at her hair. Like, she probably got the best weave money can buy. The best makeup. She probably wear, like, you know what I'm saying? She trying to act like she's like, come on, bro. Laugh at a joke. I'm just gonna get up here and super Kamala. Y'all be wilding out here, bruh.
People work minimum wage jobs. They don't get to dawn for an hour or so to get photo ops and walk away. That's not cool.
I'm just saying, if you can't watch Donald Trump,
bro. Like, what is wrong with this lady? Bro, if I worked at McDonald's, right? And the person that used to be the president of the United States is there and I can talk to him, I would be like, wow, this is amazing. And the person that's running to be the president of the United States is there. I would be like, wow, I can talk. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. Let me, I'm gonna do your job today. That's amazing. Like, y'all don't think that's that's nice? He could have been anywhere. Now you don't want him to be there because you're a Democrat. If Kamala Harris would have showed up there, she would have been in full support. That's great. And y'all said she wasn't at McDonald's working and she got up there and she actually flipped fries. That's amazing for her. Y'all would be doing that right now. Y'all not slick. Wait a minute. Hit the like button. They trying to play us. Thug life. We know what you doing, lady. Like, you mad because he beat Kamala to the punch. And he's got favor with the public. So you put on all your Maybelline and you think you're going to get up here and say mean things about Trump. We ain't doing that, bro.
Frying fries in a McDonald's when he's never been seen cooking a thing in his entire life and then serving it to punters as they turn up in cars. If you can't crack a smile and feel what Kamala would describe as the joy of that moment, there's something very humorous about you, isn't there?
That's human. Like, now he understands their plight. He's working with them. And they protected. They got Secret Service there and everything. McDonald's, they be getting wild over there. I be seeing the videos on Facebook. Like, what's she? It's crazy, bro. Lighten up, lady.
It's MAGA that keeps getting upset.
I'm thankful that McDonald's hires felons because they do that.
But giving the family some food. Tell them they ain't got to pay for it. She mad about that.
And in reality as well.
Okay, let me bring in Luke. You want to get him?
Yeah. Well, I will say that MAGA has been repeatedly expressing that they're upset that Kamala is having these fun moments. Oh, she's laughing weird, or stop dancing, there's serious problems. So there's a little bit of hypocrisy there, but I will say this McDonald's thing is the perfect example of how Trump gets away with what he does. Because
I didn't know which side of the aisle he was on. I told y'all, when I see a person get up on a forum like this, a respectful forum, and they got some cheap AirPods in their ear with a guitar in the background, what is this? Wait a minute. All the man for Trump be like, for Kamala be, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, man.
It's a bunch of people in the media play right into what he's doing, which I agree. A fun little photo op at McDonald's. A lot of people are going to find that likable.
A fun little photo op at McDonald's. A lot of people are going to find that likable. A fun little photo op at McDonald's. A lot of people are going to find it. He don't. These Kamala men, bro.
Ignoring the actual substance, which is he gets asked about the minimum wage, he can't answer it because on policy he's a failure.
Well, what are you talking about? He's trying to do away with taxes on overtime, youngin. Do you not remember him saying that? And then she plagiarized him and tried to say that after him, and Sky News Australia caught her doing it. He said no taxes on tips. Then she plagiarized him after that. What are you talking about?
So he has to rely on these sorts of stunts to get people to like him. And the media finds it so fascinating, so they forget days before the election what really matters.
But to be clear, you did find it. Just to be clear, you just said you found him likable.
I don't find him super likable, but I understand why a photo shoot like this appeals to people. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Distract from the fact that days before an election, he's promising to go after his political enemies with this enemies from within sort of comment. Distract from the fact that he's the most anti-democratic.
The enemies from within comment. Didn't we literally just debunk that yesterday? We literally just debunked that. It was a guy that did a video that got 1 million views. He debunked that. And Mr. Kamala Man is sitting up here trying to spew this like, oh my God, bro. This is ridiculous. Yeah, Trump was in office before, and when he was in office before, it was better. This dude, bro, he done got his new microphone. Think he know what he talking about? Got his AirPod. Like this dude wilding, bro.
Democratic presidential candidate we've seen in
let me bring in
American politics. Distract from the fact that
let me bring in Larry Elder quickly.
Larry Elder, please smoke this dude, bro.
Of economists are saying that
I could smoke him right now. I would be up, Pierce Morgan, holler at your boy, bro. I would be up there like, Pierce Morgan, I got control of the screen, show him all this stuff. Like, shut this dude down.
Plan would harm the economy.
Okay, let me bring in Larry. Larry, your response to this.
Yeah, well, it's debunked. Trent, it's debunked.
Oh, you're talking to somebody whose father here used to clean toilets for a living, save his nickels and dimes, and started a cafe where he sold hamburgers. So I was enjoying the moment. Donald Trump is relatable. He's likable. Regular people who eat at McDonald's liked him. And I think that's why people on the left are so upset. I do find it interesting, though, that Kamala Harris has gotten a pass for saying she's worked at McDonald's, and Donald Trump is being slammed for doubting it. I saw a headline that said, Donald Trump, without evidence, says
There's no
that Kamala
evidence
Harris
she
didn't work
there.
at McDonald's.
Trump hasn't demonstrated in any way whatsoever.
Can he talk? Kamala Harris haven't demonstrated any. Let him talk. Let him talk.
not brought forward any
Where's the
evidence to
evidence?
refute. No, she doesn't have to go back. I don't have proof of every job I worked. What was it, in high school or college? And she's not going to waste time right before.
But Luke, you
the
don't think
election
it's odd? Luke,
trying to- This is what Trump gets to do, though. This is what Trump gets to do, though. He gets to baselessly lie about something.
Yeah, look, he's like they get so emotional, these Democrats. That's why I understand why this girl freaked out so bad when somebody called her a Democrat, bro.
What's wrong?
Daddy told me to do that.
What?
Daddy told me to do that.
He what?
He called me a Democrat.
Are you serious? Daddy!
I see why they be freaking out, bro. Like, you ain't about to call me no Democrat, bro.
What's wrong?
Daddy told me to do that.
What?
Daddy told me to do that.
He what?
He called me a Democrat.
Are you serious? Daddy!
They so emotional. I see why they flip out.
Luke, do you not think
ahead,
it's
Pierce.
strange that she's been so specific? She's named the branch that she worked at. She's named the summer that she worked there, 1983. And she said she was working on the ice cream stand, the French fry stand, on reception. She was there for weeks on end throughout one summer, and not a single human being that came across her, either working with her or a customer or anything, has
I haven't
any...
seen a
Hang
person
on,
come out and say,
hang on, hang on, has any memory of this person who is now potentially about to become president of the United States. I'm just smelling a rat here, and it's not a very pleasant smelling rat.
Do you remember the names and the faces of people who have served you at McDonald's? I
can tell you, if I was running for British Prime Minister...
Especially from 30 plus years ago.
Here's my response. If I was running for British Prime Minister right now, I can guarantee I did some terrible jobs in my time. I wish I'd been at McDonald's. It sounds a great gig. But I did some awful stuff. I shoveled mushroom manure.
Bro, I used to take bodies to the morgue. But that wasn't a good job. That was a bad job. Like, I mean, it was a service that needed to be done. Like, when people would pass away, I would come get the body and take them to the morgue. Like, we had, like, jobs people didn't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
One summer. All the people that did it with me would remember, and they would all pop up and they'd talk about it. I mean, Dave Rubin, it just stretches credulity that here we are. She's been saying this for several years now. Nobody can remember her ever being at McDonald's, Dave.
Well, sure.
How is Pierce Morgan a joke? Because he said nobody can remember her being at McDonald's. That's literally a fact. It's literally a fact. Dog life. It's a fact. How is he a joke? Facts are facts.
Sure, but why don't we do something a little more substantive, whether than she's lying or not about her resume? I mean, this is also a woman who's basically being installed as president as far as the Democrats are concerned, so they're not that concerned with resumes. What I'd rather talk about for a moment, since two of the guests mentioned minimum wage, is that the market should dictate what minimum wage is. If you want to artificially tell the McDonald's how much they have to pay people, so it should be $25 an hour, $30 an hour, whatever you want to decide it should be, well, congratulations. McDonald's will then bring in iPads, which they are doing at airports and they're doing at restaurants all over the country.
And yeah, look, he's so emotional. Like a little girl. Like, what are you doing? Like, bro. I am not no Democrat, bro.
What's wrong?
Daddy told me to do that.
What?
Daddy told me to do that.
He what?
He called me a Democrat.
Are you serious? Daddy!
This dude got so emotional. They are going to get rid of employees, bro. Listen to what this guy is telling you. You don't even want to listen. He's like he can't wait to cut somebody off. Listen to this.
Decide it should be. Well, congratulations. McDonald's will then bring in iPads, which they are doing at airports and they're doing at restaurants all over the country right now. and then nobody will have a job. So the market dictates that. That's not Donald Trump being mean. That's not him hating people from lower economic classes or anything else. But certain jobs, only the market dictates how much they're worth. So unless you want 15 iPads in every McDonald's and one guy who comes in once a month who will probably be paid $20 an hour to repair those iPads or get the grease off them, you're going to fire an awful lot of people by telling the government that it should tell stores how much they should pay their employees.
Okay,
at least we're talking about substance now. I love this conversation. Let's talk about minimum wage. Let's talk about how
Please don't all talk.
Oh my God, these Democrats, bro. Like, they just keep, like, talking over everybody.
Until I ask you, is this easier if I manage it? I wanted to switch gears to Kamala's appearance on Fox News. And Amisha, I'll start with you. Let's take a little look. This was SNL mocking that interview. Let's take.
I can't play that because of licensing. Because SNL hit me with a copyright already.
Spectacle of Alec Baldwin making his comeback, which I think feels a little too soon, perhaps.
That's why I need 100,000 subscribers so I can like play some like specific things. That's why I be saying it. You know what I mean? Not like I didn't need 100,000 subscribers. Like, I mean, it's cool, but like I want to be able to play like different things, and you know, it's difficult when you got under 100,000 subscribers.
Nature of her going on Fox News, I thought it was quite a ballsy move to do it. I've got to be reasonable credit to her for going on there. It got a massive audience, the biggest audience of any interview in the whole presidential race. Do you think it, in the end, though, was a good or not so good move for her?
She came to do exactly what she did. I think that pointing out Donald Trump's instigations of wanting to eradicate certain news networks, calling out individuals who he wanted to issue prosecutions of, who have spoken out against him or who didn't support him. She went on to do what she needed to do. And I think that in terms of going on Fox, yes, it has a big audience, but she wasn't necessarily trying to draw in an audience that is largely Trump and MAGA supporters. People know what Fox News is, as much as she was going into the house that Donald Trump built in many ways, the same place that has been sued multi-million dollars over for lying about election fraud in the 2020 election, and she shook up their house. That's what she intended to do during this campaign, and then she walked off. And I think that she did a very strong job of it. It was not going to be a friendly space. She knew that going in. That just is what it is. This was the first time she'd sat down with Fox during this entire cycle. And I think that it made a difference because it showcased that she wasn't afraid to have the conversation, but also that she walked away, just rose like the phoenix, as strong as she was when she walked in.
All right, Larry, I mean, I certainly didn't think she had a stunning success. I don't think he was an abject failure either, but CNN's Van Jones, who's obviously very pro-Kamala, said the problem with it was she's still in persuasion mode when she should be in turnout mode. I thought that was an interesting verdict on that.
Well, I agree with her. The point was for her to go on Fox News, stand up, show she wasn't afraid, show she had the stones to to go to Fox News.
So the problem
is much more fundamental. Are you better off now than you were 3.5, 4 years ago? The average family of four is spending $1,200 a month.
You think people are... This dude thinks people are better off now than they were when Trump was in. Like, what is...
more for the same goods and services as that family spent 3.5, 4 years ago. We're paying 50% more for gas than we were 3.5, 4 years ago. That's the problem. And that is why I believe she's going to lose.
Okay, Luke, you're shaking your head there. Why?
Yeah. What is this bizarre thing that MAGA is trying to force onto Americans, this collective amnesia? We were in the middle of the pandemic 4 years ago. Yes, we're better off. And the very problems that people will cite to argue against the economic success of Biden-Harris are the numbers that are a direct outcome. Be just a little bit honest for a moment, Dave and Larry, are a direct outcome of pandemic conditions.
A little bit honest.
If you can't accept that, if you can't accept that Trump was making deals with Saudi Arabia and Russia to cut oil production, that caused the spike going into Biden-Harris. If you can't accept that Trump gave to Biden a crime spike, an economic collapse, a public health disaster, then you're not critically engaging with the last few years. So yes, we're better off because we got out of a crisis better than any other legislation.
What is he from Venus or something? Like, where is he from? Like Earth? How is he? What liberal is in his ear, like making him believe all of this?
Listen, Dave, just listen.
Dave Rubin's
we came out of a crisis.
All right, Luke, let Dave respond to that.
Well, there's so much there. I mean, first off, it was the Democrats, once Biden took over, who made the pandemic situation much worse.
Much worse.
With
and then mandating masks and mandated you get the jab, and then we finding out with Robert Kennedy. We in the other video, I can't say it in this video, like Robert Kennedy talking about that the people that were for it are now getting $150,000 for the jab, like a year for the rest of their life, and their kids are getting paid. Like what? Mom and pop businesses are almost non-existent in America after they shut down the country for a year and people couldn't recover. Now all you see is Walmarts and all these big conglomerate businesses, the same ones, and now they're reducing their store hours because there's no competition. And they can do whatever they want to do. Now you got to come back in the morning anyway, ain't no stores. Like, what do you... This dude, bro. The smug look on his face, like he actually think he...
mandates and forcing people out of work and forcing nurses out of work and everything else. But let's put that aside because that
yes. Nurses were being forced out of work because some people would not take the jab. And in order to continue to work as a nurse, you had to take the jab. A lot of people came forward and told what was going on. Do not start shaking your head. That weave ain't gonna help you, lady. Wait a minute.
That's years ago. How about we just deal with the last, say, 2 years, where they printed a relentless amount of money. And if you know anything about economics, if you ever did Economics 101 in college, if you print money, then it is going to cause inflation. Your dollar will be worth less. And that's why every single person watching.
Yeah. A Don Val 65 said he thinks he ate.
This in the United States of America knows that when they walk into whatever grocery store they go to, whether it's to buy a dozen eggs or it's a pound of beef or bread.
Bro, I bought eggnog. Like I like the Christmas spirit, Thanksgiving and all of that, right? When I bought eggnog, it was $6.99 for, I think it was $7.99 for like a little carton of eggnog. That's ridiculous. Like he probably doesn't even like. He probably lives somewhere. His parents are still paying for everything. Bought him a nice microphone. We got the same microphone, bro. We got the same, we got the same microphone. You don't have to keep the microphone like that. You don't have to do that, bro. It can go down. Just turn up the gain on the microphone, bro. Like somebody then probably bought him a new microphone, everything, and now he just think he know how the world works. You too young, bro. You a young whippersnapper. You don't know how the world work yet, bro.
It is significantly higher, and that is not. And Kamala's answer for that,
we have the lowest inflationary cost of anybody in the developed world.
She wants more governmental control over the economy.
No, she wants price gouging to end
over your lives.
She wants price gouging to end, but she's not doing anything about it, ma'am.
Quickly, just please answer this for me then. Why is it that our economy, just by the objective metrics we use to measure economic performance, came out of the pandemic under Biden-Harris way stronger than our wealthy economy counterparts, and then inflation, we got it down way faster? This was a global phenomenon because of a global crisis that Trump mismanaged, thus exacerbated. And you...
Does he not know how inflation... I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think he understands what ended up happening. Like, Larry Summers, like, put out a warning that her deciding vote was going to cause inflation. I don't think this little young whippersnapper, and I'm just going to play this video just so people know.
No.
Are we thriving? Is our members in your state?
I would argue we're not.
Congressman of the Budget Committee.
Not really thriving right now. This inflation, which, by the way, was brought to us by Kamala Harris, has really slowed down people from being able to excel.
By Kamala?
Yes.
Vice president.
Oh, Charlemagne.
It's still the president.
Charlemagne, listen, man. When Joe Biden wanted to do his American Rescue Plan, Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate. She broke the tie that started this inflation that has hurt so many people in our country. Everybody listening to your show. It's not true?
First of all, it's true that it's a tie-breaking vote.
You sure you want to go there?
Go outside, Congressman, when you go outside.
You sure you want to go there? Okay, let's go there.
You had it
you got notes. You got notes, Angela, right?
That's fine. I have notes
I'm
too.
gonna give it. I'm gonna
the
give it to
biggest note I
Charlamagne.
have today
I'm gonna give it to
is
Charlamagne.
that
I
on
don't even
every
want to hold
question
it.
I've asked,
Because Angela, hold on now. Go ahead.
for every infrastructure project in your community,
You can go to
should
third
go
page,
out
just the
and
highlighted
thank
portion.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Congress that voted for the American Rescue Plan.
Angela,
That's what should be happening.
Larry Summers wrote an op-ed back in 2021. Larry Summers was the Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton. He was an economic advisor to Barack Obama. He said that the American Rescue Plan that Joe Biden wanted, that Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate, would create a massive inflation that we have not seen in a generation. Well, guess what? Larry Summers was correct. You know who also was correct, Angela? I was, because I was in the Budget Committee when they brought the bill.
He thinks he knows how the world works. She thinks she knows something. Because they done dialed her up and put makeup all over her, and she thinks she knows what she's talking about. Somebody's probably, she got them special earrings that Kamala have, like maybe she got 2 sets of earrings besides them loops. She don't even know what's going on. Yeah, give me the 89,000. We got 89,000. Give me the 100,000. We should be at least 90,000 subscribers. Because there'd be people like him that be having like crazy followings and he don't even know what he's talking about. It's ridiculous. Nothing to substantiate him, back him up. We just heard from a congressman.
And I said in that committee, it's going to cause massive inflation. That's what happened. So the problem we have in our economy today is that prices have gone up massively. Wages adjusted for inflation is down. People's pocketbooks are hurting, but we have a presidential election in 40 days. So, and I'm gonna ask Envy this question. Envy, you're in the housing business as well. I know because I watch.
Figure out how
I listen to the show.
Interviewed.
No, I'm just asking them a question. Chill, Angela. So I listen.
Ben Kemp said he's got 900,000.
To the show. I know you do a lot of business in housing. Mm-hmm. Would you hire somebody that broke up stuff in one of your houses to fix the other houses?
No.
Exactly.
And he think he know what's going on.
Nothing
you said there was true,
the painful
so
facts of that moment. You exploit the painful facts of that moment for political purposes. When even on your point about printing money, sure, absolutely the case that that'll cause inflation or contribute to it. So then what do you say about as Trump was leaving office, him dumping, he added twice that of Biden to the debt, even if you exclude the pandemic, by the way, but especially including it. And you want to push it all into Biden-Harris. You want to exclude from Trump's record the pandemic era, but include it.
But look, here's the problem.
Biden-Harris. It's
Look,
ridiculous.
here's the problem. You know, I'm not disputing some of what you said there. What I would dispute, though, is you're not really countering. Well, you're not really countering what Dave's central point is, which is most Americans, if not all Americans.
Piers Morgan is trying to make sure he doesn't digress from his original point, is what he's doing. So while you think he can burn me in a comment in a debate, he can't. He will get smoked. But he's like going off on a tangent instead of answering the question.
But look, here's the problem.
Biden-Harris is ridiculous.
Look, here's the problem. You know, I'm not disputing some of what you said there. What I would dispute, though, is you're not really countering. Well, you're not really countering what Dave's central point is, which is most Americans, if not all Americans, if they think about what their weekly shop costs them today and compare it to the first few weeks, months of the Biden-Harris administration, it is indisputably a lot more expensive. And in the end, I think if they lose the election, if Kamala Harris doesn't win and Trump wins, I suspect, as always, it will be that economic reality, which is not to say the American economy is not performing well compared to many other countries. It is. You are the number one superpower in the world. But it doesn't change the fact that the cost of living for most Americans has gone through the roof in the last 3.5 years. It just has.
Totally, which is why it's a crying shame that people like Larry and people like Dave choose to mislead people about the cause of that, because they won't even engage with the point I just made about the global phenomenon.
You don't want to put any blame onto your side. And that's fine.
Sure,
but they've
put
been
some blame
in charge.
as long as we're
but your side have been in charge.
as long as we're considering the full context of it.
You can't keep blaming Trump for everything that happens.
Where's the blame
it's not blaming Trump. It's considering
the.
All right, let me bring in Larry. Larry, it seems to me that one of the default positions of Kamala
Larry Elder, you got to step it up, bro.
Harris right now, and the Democrats generally, is when in doubt, blame everything on Trump. Even the economic record of your own administration is all Trump's fault. Everything is Trump, Trump, Trump. Right. And I actually think that's a mistake. I actually think they'd be much better off presenting a genuine plan for what they're going to do under a Kamala Harris first term as president than by just blaming everything on the boogeyman, Trump.
Agreed.
So are we ignoring her entire
He directed this towards me, so may I respond?
Yes.
79% of people, according to a Marquette poll, believe we are on the wrong track. Kamala Harris says, I was in the room for every major decision that Joe Biden made. Joe Biden said we're singing from the same song sheet. When she was asked, Kamala Harris, whether there's anything that she would have done differently, she said nothing that comes to mind right now. So she is stuck right there with that. That's the.
But hey, Larry Elder, that guy actually thinks that we're doing better in these 4 years. So, I mean, even though she said she's not going to do anything different to help out things, he thinks everything is just hunky-dory right now.
The problem. Let me just say one thing before we leave this topic about the minimum wage. I'm in California. We just jacked up the minimum wage from $16 to $20 an hour. And those of us who oppose that said that it's going to cost jobs. The day the bill was signed, even before it went into effect, 1,200 drivers for Pizza Hut were laid off. Since then, 10,500 fast food workers have lost their jobs, all because of this. The very people that people on the left purport to care about, little people that work at McDonald's, lost their jobs. Dave Rubin is right. The private sector should determine the price of labor. When you interfere with that, you're going to have all sorts of problems, including a greater incentive to automate.
Okay, Amisha, I want to bring in a new theme. I want to play an ad. It's a Kamala age ad. Let's take a look.
Like, you got to even think, like, even the grocery stores are automated. Like, they're like self-checkout. Like, they're like, people are getting rid of workers, bro. You want to, like, continue to make them raise the minimum wage and all that. Just, if somebody's not going to pay you what you want, go somewhere else, bro. That's what it is.
Look at this.
A Trump advisor told producers that Trump was exhausted and refusing interviews.
He would be the oldest president ever inaugurated if he wins in November.
He will not agree to a second presidential debate.
The former president was swaying and asked to play songs for about 40 minutes.
Donald Trump's public appearances have deteriorated.
The stomach is speaking.
This is ridiculous, bro.
We're the most tolerant people on earth, and here you are being openly ageist, right? Why do you hate old people so much that you're now mocking and denigrating poor Donald for being 78? Do you want every 78-year-old American to feel they're worthless?
Yeah, but what about Biden's medical records? You didn't want his medical records released? He didn't want to release his medical records. Like, ugh.
I think I heard my name here.
Why are you being ageist, Amisha?
When the Democratic Party is working to reduce the cost of prescription drugs for older people, is working to engage and make sure that
why
people
do
who
an
are
ad
stuck
that's
in that
mocking
sandwich
old
generation,
people
taking
here?
care of their parents.
Why are you mocking people for being old?
No, because you said that Democrats are mocking old people. I'm telling you, with Democratic policies, older people, elderly people are a lot more in a sustainable position than they ever will be with Republicans. With that being said, Donald Trump is getting mocked because he's up there swaying left, right, and sideways. He can't answer questions fundamentally. He's telling us about some approach called the weave when he can't.
Even though he can do post interviews and respond to like 5 different reporters at once, and she hasn't done any, and like, this is insane, bro.
Complete sentences, and he's all over the place. It is dementia dawn in front of our faces. And if the media could attack Joe Biden relentlessly after that poor debate performance, then why can we not go after Donald Trump when he is no longer agile, when he's no longer making sense, when he's swaying back and forth?
Okay, I'm going to bring David.
He called himself the father of IBM.
Hang on. I'm going to bring David, but what I would say about that is it's pretty bloody rich of the Democrats, frankly, after hiding the state of Joe Biden for 2 years from the American people.
Yeah, talk to him, Pitt. Talk to him.
When he clearly has got onset early dementia. It's pretty rich to play the dementia card at Trump, who basically does a 2-hour rock show most nights on stage. Dave.
I'll go further than that. It's not 2 years that they hid this. It's from before he was president. I was doing videos in 2019 about this. Whether he has dementia or Parkinson's or whatever, it is a fact that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and likely Barack Obama, but undoubtedly Kamala Harris, they got him in an office. I'm talking about Joe Biden, and they basically threatened him with the 25th Amendment, which is why he's not running anymore. We know this is a fact because Joe Biden basically said that on The View, that he still thinks he's capable and that he would have beat Donald Trump. So why are you not running? So they lied about everything. And the absurdity, the patent absurdity that you were going to say that Donald Trump, who basically a day after being shot, is back out there, who is doing.
I know. Hey, Burr Collins said Donald Trump out here shooting par on golf courses. I don't, bro. These people, bro.
Interviews, mainstream podcast, everything else, bouncing around crazy rallies. As you point out, does 2-hour speeches off the cuff. He answers every question. I don't know if you guys saw it last week at Bloomberg when he did 20 minutes.
He's meandering. Like, what?
Just on tariffs. The guy, whether you like him or not, I get you guys don't like him, but whether you like him or not, you know what the guy thinks, and he's more than happy to
These guys aren't even being objective at all, bro.
Explain it to you over and over again. The idea that he now is too old after what they just pulled on Biden is so hypocritical. I get politics is all about.
Well, let me play. Okay, let me hang on, Luke.
These youngins don't know what they talking about, bro. Shout out to Zendaya. I ended up posting a video of her. It's got 16 million views now. Shout out to her.
Who lost the last election?
Let's see what
How
he said.
can you endorse someone who lost the last election fair and square?
So let's talk through a couple elements of this. First, do you think the CIA should involve itself in American elections?
No.
Okay, so it did in 2020.
Show me proof.
Okay, well, Tulsi Gabbard knows this. She could tell you 50 intel officials colluded, led by Tony Blinken, due to declassified emails, signing an open letter calling the Hunter Biden laptop
So
Russian.
why weren't any of the lawsuits
Let me
successful?
finish. I did not. Hold on.
Raised plenty of them.
Hold on a second. I didn't interrupt you.
See, like, this is what they do, bro. I gotta react. It is what it is. Reaction. This is what they do. The interruption. Let them talk because they try to like throw so many things at you and interrupt so that you can lose like your train of thought. Let's see what's going on.
You right? So let me finish. 50 intel officials, current and former, signed a letter that was used to censor on social media the fact that there is a laptop owned by Hunter Biden that showed very suspicious and criminal activity by both Hunter and Joe Biden. According to the Media Research Center, 1 out of 4 voters in swing states would have changed their vote if they would have known about the Hunter Biden
That's
laptop.
an utter ridiculous statement.
Well,
to make.
I just cited it.
He lost by 7 million votes.
Well, hold on. No. He lost by
on the popular vote.
42,000 votes across 3 states. Hold on, pal. How much did he lose Arizona by?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
No. Hold on. How much
That's what he gets for believing fake news.
did he lose this state by?
It's not about the final score. It's
10?
a winner and a loser.
No, hold
he
on.
lost.
No,
That's how our system works.
We have an electoral college system.
Yeah.
So
who
how much?
got the electoral votes?
No, of course Biden did. But what was the margin in Arizona?
I don't know.
It was
It's
10,000 votes.
Not in the back of my head.
Yeah. So how much in Georgia?
It was 11,700. That's
Yeah.
what they told Raffensperger to find
and
him.
in Wisconsin, it was
a Republican
Let
who
me
denounces
finish.
them.
And in Wisconsin, it was 21,000, right? So it was actually 42,000, not 7 million. So when you're talking about the CIA and the Department of Justice signing a letter that was then used to, I did not have my Twitter account for 30 days. We were not allowed to mention the Hunter Biden
Because
laptop.
you violated a private
Yeah, people were being censored heavily.
company's privacy.
Well, no, actually, I didn't.
guidelines.
It's actually
yes, you did.
no, because of the Twitter files, thanks to Elon Musk, we now know the FBI told Twitter to say you are not allowed to mention the Hunter Biden laptop. Am I correct in this, Tulsi?
That's correct.
No, he is definitely correct about that.
Correct.
And
So you don't trust the FBI at all?
Well,
People who
not
have
at all.
devoted
No.
their life to civil service.
That's a red herring. I'm saying in that instance, Yoel Roth. Do you know who Yoel Roth was?
I don't know
Yeah,
who Yoel
okay.
Roth
Yoel
is.
Roth was the head of security, trust, and safety for Twitter that had a what's called a standing room meeting every Tuesday with the Federal Bureau of Investigation in San Francisco, where they met about Russian threats to American interference.
When he said red herring, it's a clue or piece of information that is or is intended to be misleading or distracting.
Of elections, and they said this laptop is not allowed to be discussed on your platform. That impacted our election. people made their decisions differently in 2020, not knowing the full picture that this laptop existed, and that was the October surprise. So you would agree that that's not a fair election.
You think the laptop would have flipped the election for him?
Well, we're talking about 42,000 votes in 3 states, and I already cited a study.
Bro, it would have a big impact.
That 1 in 4 swing voters would have changed
study by who?
The media.
Clarence Thomas's Winnebago buyer? Like,
who does he remind you of?
who funds these?
I just said by the independent, nonpartisan Media Research Center, where they said 1 out of 4 voters would have changed their opinion. So I just want to make sure we're clear, though. You agree our government should not interfere with our elections.
Well, they have to regulate them by nature. That's the states have to.
What are they teaching kids in these schools?
Well, no, hold on.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have an election because you need rules
I
and
said
a judge.
interfere. So should the federal government be able to restrict our speech during elections?
Well, when you have what happened in 2016 where Russian disinformation spreads all over Facebook and other platforms, then you have...
So wait,
it was not a lie.
It
was not a lie. Read the Mueller report. Another Republican.
Wait, you realize
respected.
The Mueller report found that there was no tangible collusion between Donald Trump or the Russian Federation.
It wasn't about, but
hold
it
on.
wasn't just a collusion thing. It's a 430-page report.
I want to try to find common ground here, okay? I want to try to find common ground. Can we agree that 2020 was decided by very few votes?
No, because it wasn't.
Well, 42,000 votes is very few, right?
No.
So what is the percentage of 42,000?
It's not about George Bush and Al Gore were as close as ever in 2000. Al Gore conceded, said, you know what, I lost. There might be a challenge.
Hold on,
because he cared about the good of the country.
You know, Al Gore brought it all the way up to the Supreme Court, man.
What is he talking about? Y'all don't remember like Al Gore being like real mad and like trying to figure out how to get this overturned? Like, what is he talking about? This dude read the Mueller report and think that. These professors, bro, they be gassing these kids.
And he said that Bush was not the duly elected
president. And he could have gone further because
how do you go further than the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court sent it back to judgment in the Florida State Supreme Court again, and Gore said, "No, I'm not doing that. Just move on. Bush is the president for the good of the country." Because people used to care about our country.
No, and of course. So are you trying to imply Trump doesn't care about the country?
Yes, that's absolutely what I'm implying. You think he sits in his gold room in Trump Tower and thinks, "Oh, how can I make things better for?"
Oh, so like taking a rifle round to the ear, like what? Like, come on, bro. There's somebody trying to get him again, and then you finding out somebody had blicks and they stopped. Like, what? What do you mean he doesn't care about like he out there at McDonald's? Like giving people free food. Like, what? This dude is wilding, bro. He's rich. He don't have to be running. You think Donald Trump likes waking up every day and seeing liberals going Don Lemon, people like that, making up disinformation and going at them and trying to convince? Like, they're part of the reason why people have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. It's because of them. The liberals, what they do. So with that, are people like blaming Trump for every wrong and thing that's going on in America? You're going to get people that's going to revolt and do what some people try to do to him. You mean he doesn't like the country, bro? Like he's going through the worst. Like, bro, if I go online, I see somebody talking about me, I'm mad. And he's still like fighting to try to make sure democracy stays in place. While another person that you're arguing for, you're obviously a Democrat, is allowing illegal aliens to flood America so that they can vote Democrat. This is insane, bro. Doing away with voter ID. This is insane, bro. This is one of the most important elections you could ever have.
Everyday Joe.
So let me ask one thing, and I'd love to have Tulsi. Just help me understand. So his business empire has been taken away from him. He's facing
because he broke the law.
Can I finish my thought? He's finishing 700. He's facing 700 years in federal prison. He's been shot once with multiple assassination attempts. Why keep running for president if he doesn't love the country?
Because 100 years from now in a history textbook, it's going to say Donald Trump's name, and that's what motivates narcissists.
Girls be liking dudes like this. Like, I be wondering, like, well, how do you... Like, I did pretty good with the girls in high school and in college. But, like, dudes like this, like, God, bro.
Okay, you want to chime in?
No
Look,
brain.
I will say this. I hope you do some research because...
I've done my research. You need to do your research.
Yeah. Look, I will say this as kindly as I can. One day I hope you open your eyes because you've been significantly brainwashed on this topic. And I guess the final question I'll ask is this. If Donald Trump wins in 3 weeks, will you accept that as a legitimate result?
Yes.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
That's the difference between me and you.
Okay, did Trump win in 2016?
Get back to the microphone, bro.
Yes.
But you said that Russian interfered.
Russian interference had a role in the election, but Trump won fair and square. He had more votes and more. And notice how Hillary supporters didn't storm the Capitol.
Well, no, hold on. Hillary never conceded.
Yes, she did.
No, hold on.
She had a concession speech the day after the election. I watched it in middle school.
Hillary Clinton said Donald Trump was not the legitimate president of the United States.
That's one milked clip that is played all over the internet. Yeah, she had a concession speech. When's the Trump concession speech in 2020? Show it to me.
Let me ask one more question. Are you voting for Kamala Harris?
Yes, I am, proudly.
What's her greatest accomplishment?
Her greatest accomplishment? I would say that she's going to legalize marijuana federally, something that's been over by 100 years.
She literally put people in jail for that, bro.
Thank you.
She said it. How can you...
Luke, hang on. I want to play a test here. I want to play a mashup of Trump's best gags from the Al Smith Catholic dinner night. But I want Amisha and Luke to look at me, and I want you to try and avoid laughing, right? Which is what all Democrats have been trying to do. So you're not allowed to laugh, all right? Let's watch this.
Deal.
It's a true pleasure to be with you this evening. Amazing pleasure. And these days, it's really a pleasure anywhere in New York without a subpoena for my appearance. I didn't like Biden very much, and now I like him quite a bit. You know, it's. And when we hopefully win, dispose of her, I like her a lot, but right now I can't stand her. Believe me, my normal crowd is younger, has a lot more energy, but you have certain advantages too, like cash, lots of cash. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband Doug anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one. Hey, you think this is easy standing up here and doing this? In front of half a room that hates my guts and the other half loves me?
Well, Amisha, you did better than Luke. Luke, you
yeah,
were
Luke, you was about to laugh, Luke. Come on, bro.
Bottom lip was going. You couldn't stop.
Biden couldn't make a joke if his life depended on it.
So, how can you not laugh at that stuff? It's a roast. It's supposed to be a funny roast.
I got you. Wait, I got you. What I was smiling about is I wasn't ready to see on the monitor that you were going to put this up there. So that was funny. But let me clarify. People get in this argument of, does Trump have charisma? Is he funny? Obviously. That's how he built the cult that he built. I'm not concerned with...
So he's got pretty good mental faculties, right? Like he can formulate jokes and make you laugh. But you still want his medical records?
Humor scale of a president. I want someone with character. So I agree. Sometimes he says stuff and I laugh. Sometimes it's because it's so incoherent and embarrassing that I'm laughing at him. But sometimes he says a joke like some of them there and they're perfectly fine. But that's not what determines a president. And he can both be sort of a caricature and sort of silly while also last time he was president refusing to leave office until his illegal schemes failed. Okay. Last time he was president mismanaging a global crisis. So can we talk about the substance while I'll acknowledge we don't have to ignore there are moments, mostly because we're laughing at him, where he's inducing laughter.
Yeah, I mean, Larry, I thought that Dave hit onto a really smart thing about this campaign, which is Trump has done a lot of this with very unconventional media, a lot of young podcasts, a lot of stuff you would never expect a presidential candidate to go on. He's been devoting a lot of time to this. And I know why, because they have millions and millions of younger followers. And if he can galvanize them to come out and vote, he's going to win.
That's right. And let me suggest that the reason Kamala Harris did not go to the dinner is because...
And that's why Kamala Harris is going on the Daddy podcast. Oh, man. I wonder if she's going to do go on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Because when you call somebody a fascist and a Nottler and a Hitler and a threat to our republic, then you sit back and break bread and crack jokes with them. It suggests that you really weren't serious when you said all those mean, nasty things about him. And I think it undermined her argument. That's why I believe she didn't show up. He sits there, he makes fun with Chuck Schumer, talks to Chuck Schumer before and after, makes a joke about Chuck Schumer. Apparently, they're able to get along okay. Then is he really the fascist and the Nazi and the threat to the republic?
Wait,
that the
he
left
calls
said
us
he is?
fascists too. So is he also doing that two-faced thing? Because he laughed along with them and got along with them, even though he says we're going to end the country, and if he doesn't win, the country's going to be finished.
Well, here's what I think, Luke. I do think it was a massive mistake of Kamala Harris. It was a massive mistake of her not to go to that dinner. It just showed me she can't laugh at herself in public. I just thought it was a ridiculous act of cowardice, frankly. Amisha?
Wait, but Trump's the one who didn't want to go to the correspondence dinner.
I don't think that dinner made a darn bit of difference on the campaign trail. I think that individuals, he hasn't been to the White House Correspondents' Dinner in years. He never really went because he didn't want to be made fun of. In Kamala's case, she's been the Democratic nominee since the DNC, which was, a little over 2 months ago. At the end of the day, she has a jam-packed calendar of events in the battleground states. She's touching the flesh. She's talking to people where they are. She's making sense for the campaign she has to run, which is the shortest one we've ever seen in American history. She is prioritizing the events that are already in her calendar. And at the end of the day, even Donald Trump knows that the Al Smith dinner is not going to be the make or break dinner of this campaign cycle. It's just not.
Okay.
I don't know. Mary Fuller, I don't know. Mary Fuller, I don't know what he's saying.
Asking you all the same question, which is that
he lost 49 states.
Well, the betting markets have hit 59% now, Dave, on Trump prevailing in 2 weeks' time. It's obviously very, very close. We know that. It's going to be very close. But certainly in the swing states, you get a sense of slight momentum Trump's way. And you're certainly seeing Kamala Harris nowhere near doing as well.
And in Michigan, the Arabs are like in favor of Trump right now. She's losing that. Let's see this.
It's a controversial topic.
So it says, Kamala Harris tells a crowd that she loves Gen Z, a complete 180 from her previous opinion that she thought young people were not smart. Harris today, I love Gen Z because we have Gen Zs in our lives. I know I love Gen Z. Harris in 2015. What else do we know about this population? 18 through 24. They are not smart. I can't say that word. That is why we put them in a dormitories and they have a resident assistants. They make really bad decisions. So let's listen to this.
I'll tell you, and I know this is a controversial topic for many of us, I love Gen Z. Because we have Gen Zs in our lives. We have kids who are Gen Zs. It can be complicated, I know. I love Gen Z. And it's a specific phase of life. Remember, age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories. And they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
Yeah, they do, Kamala. Yeah, they do.
Swing states as Biden was in 2020. What's your reading overview of where we are with this race?
Well, my take at the moment, Piers, you know my political evolution well. I'm by no means a traditional conservative or even traditional Republican. I wasn't a Republican most of my life. I am since I moved here to Florida a couple of years ago. But what's happening right now with Trump is that he has built a coalition around him with people that were Democrats. Robert F. Kennedy, the name is the standard bearer for the Democrat Party. Tulsi Gabbard, only a few years ago, running for president as a Democrat. Elon Musk, who was a Democrat his entire life. We're getting Hollywood celebrities and rappers, a whole group, and athletes, MMA guys, people who are apolitical, who are no, but it's not about that. What it's it's that sort of dismissiveness that leads people to not liking lefties. What you're seeing right now is a whole bunch of people who love America. They love free speech. They love free enterprise. They love the founding of this country. And they're realizing that Trump now is the vehicle to save this country. It's either that or hyper control over your life in every which way by a woman who I would say is the first artificial intelligence candidate, in that she has been programmed to say things and she will say whatever she's programmed to do.
Is he lying? Y'all tell me, is he lying? I don't think he's lying.
Should never again stand behind Should never again stand behind
Trump is now showing that America can be wide and celebrated and wonderful and all of the things that made us the dream of the world over. It is so rare and precious what we have in America. And now Trump represents that restoration, which is why he's bringing together, I would say, the widest coalition I have ever seen in my entire life.
Actually, listen, Luke,
They're different.
Well,
Is there
Luke,
different
hang on,
The
Luke,
most
Luke, whatever you think
divisive president of all
about.
time. What are you talking
hang on,
about?
please. I'll come to all of you.
NATO was talking
Hang on,
about NATO
Amisha.
proofing themselves
Amisha,
against
wait your
Trump.
turn, please. Luke, I mean, what Dave
Well,
just said
I'm for
is
America. I'm not for NATO.
what
I'm for
Dave
America.
just said is correct in the sense he has got this strangely powerful cross section of people who were Democrats who have now come round to Trump. I mean, Luke, right now, if I was a Democrat, I am panicking about the state of these swing state polls, and that's where all the action is going to be. Are you panicking?
They got Dick
I'm
Cheney
in a
now.
perpetual
That's
state
pretty
of
good.
panic this entire time. But I will say, until election day is over, or however, whenever we get the result back, of course I'm going to be panicked because of the stakes of this election, even if she had a large lead in the polls.
Because you want all these immigrants in here. Let me show you guys something real quick. What is this? Wendy Rogers in Arizona. Listen to this. You got to hear this. All right, y'all listen. Y'all listening?
By 40 state representatives and state legislators, state senators from around the United States. And I'm going to read this to you. And this is going to be a seminal moment. Memo for record. Letter from state legislators to the American people. Reference the 2020 presidential election. To the citizens of the United States of America, we, the undersigned state legislators of the United States, are vested with the plenary power by our U.S. Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, to oversee the election of the President of the United States. It has come to our attention from an audit of 2.1 million ballots in the state of Arizona, complemented by an in-depth canvass of votes in Arizona.
A forensic audit.
As through multiple different data reviews of voting by independent experts, that our representative republic suffered a corrupted 2020 election.
Oh! We've been trying to tell you.
In addition to Arizona, sworn affidavits have accumulated from many states detailing rampant corruption and mismanagement in the election process. Fraud and inaccuracies have already been shown through multiple audits and canvasses in multiple states, as well as through lawsuits challenging the validity of election results in several counties in multiple states. We have come to the conclusion that all 50 states need to be forensically audited.
Boom!
That's on Twitter. She doesn't like Twitter. She actually thinks they should do something about Twitter. Her and her friend.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop.
But if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
That's real interesting. What do y'all think about that? About this lady having a problem with the voting outcome? I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, is Trump so racist he let somebody that's black out of prison? Let's listen to this. So the man who Trump freed from federal prison after he served almost 2 decades for a non-violent crime just released a video thanking Trump. Let's listen to this.
Man, I just want to thank these people in this book and show them some appreciation for being a part of my life and helping me turn my storm into a story and write a book called Duke Got Life.
Trump is so bad, right?
And so, yes, for sure. But I'd want to make sure we contextualize who Trump is. Dave's talking about this Donald Trump that I'm really not familiar with, because I agree patriotism, loving America, being for America is super important, which is why I can't be a Republican, which is why hundreds of Republicans are coming out, prominent Republicans who worked in other Republican administrations, to say Kamala Harris is the patriotic candidate, given that Trump,
no,
like
it's
I
great.
said last
You guys
time,
got
violated
Dick
his oath
Cheney.
of
You
office
thought he
last
was
time,
the
Dave.
devil, and
Oh,
now
come
you
on,
got
Dave.
Dick Cheney.
Come on.
Yeah, you guys did like go in on Dick Cheney. You didn't like him. You thought he was horrible, but now Liz Cheney is supporting Kamala, and now it's a good idea.
Dave, I would love, if you want to talk, I do
Dick
have a
Cheney,
question
is Dick
for
Cheney
you.
a good guy or a bad guy? Is Dick Cheney a good guy or a bad guy?
I'm gonna finish my point, whether it's the last thing I do.
Dick Cheney,
Trump
good guy or bad guy? Come
tried
on,
to
you can
get
do
Pence. Trump tried to get Pence, you remember, to reject the electoral count and make Trump president. Are you saying then, otherwise you'd have to denounce Trump for trying to do that Kamala Harris could just reject Trump's certification? Then I wouldn't have to worry about the election, right?
Well, no, I think Dave made a very good point, which is, do you think it was good for Kamala Harris?
No.
Hang on. Do you think it was good for, was it good for Kamala Harris that Dick Cheney endorsed her? Literally,
Congratulations, you guys.
Literally the most hated man to Democrats of the last 30 years.
No, wide coalition.
Dick Cheney is not who I'm interested in terms of the endorsement. The Adam Kinzingers, the Liz Cheney, as much as I disagree with her, showing this is the party that understands.
As much as I disagree with her, but because Liz Cheney is now supporting Kamala Harris. Yeah.
Number one principle has to be dedication to the Constitution. All right, Dave, please listen.
All right, let me bring you on.
I gotta go. Shout out to everybody. Thug Life. Make sure you taking people to the polls to vote. Also, I would say think twice about mail-in ballots. Anything can happen with postal services and things like that. And it's just human, error. Like people can lose things and, not saying that they know what's in, you know what I mean? Like, but people lose things a lot. So just go to the actual polling booths and vote. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're going to vote for. If you're blue, vote blue. If you're red, vote red. I'm voting for the felon. This is what it is. Thug Life. But I'm out. Shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nova. Shout out to everybody that's been in the chat supporting. Oh, we going live again probably in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you guys a little intermission. I'm going to run to the store real quick and then come right back. You know what I mean? Watch a movie and then we right back at it. But shout out to everyone. We got 89,189 subscribers. We are on a journey to 100,000 subscribers. And I think I have faith that we'll end up reaching it before the end of next month. Probably like before that, the way this channel's been going. We got 19,838 subscribers in 14 days. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody. I'm out. Come and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Peace.